Good morning. Good morning. Y'all come in and hang out. Speaking voice, kind of weak this morning. Still dealing with a cold. Y'all come in and hang out. We got a lot to talk about, folks. We got a lot to talk about. Oh, Buckeyes already. Hey, we're prepared this morning, guys. We got Buckeye already jumping in and everything. Come on in, Buck. Hey,
Hey, we're already here, ain't we?
we're already prepared this morning.
That's right.
How
Now
you
we
doing,
are.
man? How
I'm
you doing?
blessed, really am. Um,
Awesome.
gotta
Awesome, man.
just be honest with you. I've had a real bad headache the last 3 days, but I'm coping
Uh,
with it.
yeah, man. I've been kind of under the weather too. I got over my sickness, but it just seems like I got this thing in my throat just tickling me and just sticking around. You know what I mean?
Right. I haven't had anything like that. It's just, I know a lot of people aren't aware, and but I was diagnosed with chronic migraine headaches years ago.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and some days it's harder than others. It is that get up 3:45 in the morning, go to work with one, work all day with one. It makes it a little difficult, but
Yeah.
that's why I wear sunglasses when I'm around bright lights. When I'm outside, especially around computer screens. I need to get me a
Yeah.
pair of they're called blue blockers. I've got a pair at work that I wear, but yeah,
Oh
I can actually hear and see. We are live. I hope.
yeah.
Hey, we're early. We're
Yeah.
early this
We're early. I
time.
just wanted to kind of get in here and just kill for a few minutes and then let everybody trickle in. We are live, right, guys? You guys can hear us. You can see us. We exist, right? A
Yeah, and I
couple of
can.
weeks ago,
Yeah, go
couple
ahead.
of weeks couple of weeks ago, we went live for about an hour with nobody being able to hear us or see.
Oh, I will forever, never will forget the conversation though.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we had a good conversation, man. But I've just tuned my guitar up and might work on a little music today.
Man, I need to tune mine up. They're sitting behind me untuned. I haven't no time at all to pick up an instrument. Of course, I'm not that great anyway, but I just
Oh,
like
I,
I just like to do it, you know.
I was going to ask you, you play, man? You do play?
Man, I was really good when I was a teenager. I mean, we were
Oh yeah,
talking about starting a band. My brother played drums. My brother's a phenomenal drummer, you know, and but yeah, I haven't had time for it. I know more about guitars than what I do play.
right.
But, I
We
have
got
fun
the
with my granddaughter.
we got the 100% vitamin C this morning.
Well, I'm drinking 100% black coffee out of my Darth Vader
Coffee.
mug. It says I like my coffee on the dark side.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that. I had about 3 cups of coffee earlier, so I already drank mine. But I'm gonna I'm gonna drink this virgin screwdriver for the moment. There.
Hey man, vitamin C helps. You know what? I never will forget. I'll tell this story. But I went into work not feeling too good, and I called and talked to I always call my wife and let her know I made it and stuff. And I told her, I
Yeah.
said, man, I'm really not feeling this good this morning. So I mean, this was, gosh, it had to have been 15, 20 years maybe back. And she was like, why don't you go get you an orange juice? Vitamin C helps. So
Yeah.
I went down to the cafeteria, got me an orange juice, and when I got back at my desk, I popped the cap, took a drink of it, and it said, I seen on the bottom of the cap, on the inside of the cap, it said, you could be a grand prize winner. So I looked at the label. Well, it said, "Congratulations, you're a first place winner." But I looked on the label and it said something about this, this contest that Ocean Spray had going. You can win. I think the grand prize was a new computer and stuff like that, and
Oh,
which
wow.
I could have cared less about the computer. But the first prize winner was a $2,000. It was a $2,000 credit for college, which I was like, well, I'm too old, to go to college. But
Right.
I sent that in, and they sent me a check for $2,000.
No
But
way.
that's the first time I'd ever won anything like that.
That's
You
cool.
know.
That's really cool.
So since it was my wife's idea, we just used it, went on vacation. But
Hey, man.
I always thought these things were a scam. But I actually won something one time. It was my wife's fault.
Hey, man, $2,000 it's a chunk of change to
Yeah,
some
especially
folks, man.
20 years ago. We went to
Right,
Tennessee,
right.
took the kids to Dollywood, and yeah, it was a good time.
Man, I've been I've been lucky, I've been blessed. I've won quite a few things in my time, but probably shouldn't have been going to the casino, but a few years ago, I think 2019, I think it was 2019, right before COVID and all that, I won like $20,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean, it was crazy, you know. We had this casino close to the house, probably about 25 minutes away in Kentucky. And we were just like, we like to go play bingo and just stuff like that, you know, me
right,
and my wife, just for fun. And one night, I was actually supposed to go to the Redneck Rave and film for Justin Stowers, film something. But I was sick, man. I was pretty sick. I just didn't feel good. I just felt rough. And we went to play bingo. It was real late at night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning when we got done. And we just did it just to pass the time, you know.
right,
And so we were on our way back. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we stopped by. There's just a little casino, and it does like these little games or whatever. And it wasn't a big deal or nothing. It wasn't like a huge place. It was just kind of a little place. And man, I went in there, and yeah. I usually what I'll do is I don't even go anymore, man. I don't even like to gamble and do all. I don't even really, you know. I was younger, and there ain't nothing to do around here. We live out in the
right.
country, you know. So
Isn't it funny how things change when you get older? The things that you used to like, you don't, but the things that you
right,
didn't
yeah,
like, you do now.
it is.
I always find that funny.
It's
But
kind of
hey,
like you're seeing with a different pair of eyes now. You know what I mean?
right,
But we went in there, man, and we were I had like $100, and we had some money saved up, but I wasn't trying to win nothing. I was just having fun or whatever. I said, hey, I'm just gonna take $100 and we'll just play it. Me and her played on it, and I was like, we'll just play on it, and go home. And so I started playing, and all of a sudden, I hit this bonus thing or whatever. I don't know what it was, and all of a sudden the machine started going crazy and just doing all this stuff, and I said, hey, I said, Jess, I think I won like a few $100. I think I won some money, you know. And I was
right,
like, man, this is awesome. I said, maybe we can leave here and put a couple $100 in the bank or something, you know. And so it just kept going crazy and stuff. And all of a sudden, across the screen, it came across, you won $19,800 or something like that.
oh wow,
And I didn't even know. I just sat there, like I was just like, what, you know, like I looked at it and I was like, is that a mistake? Like you feel like it's a mistake, you know.
right. Yeah,
And
you feel like when something good happens to you, like, is this for real?
yeah, right, right. And she just sat there for a second. She goes, "We're gonna get another car. We're gonna get another car. We need another car. We need another car." It was funny. It was pretty crazy, man. And we went home that night, and of course, taxes. I went ahead and just had them take the taxes out, and it was quite a chunk. But we went home that night, and I had to be at work sometime the next day. And before I went to work, I took $1,000 and I took it to my mom. I just handed it to her and I was like, "Hey, buy you something nice, you know." And
Right.
she goes, "What is this?" And I was like, "Well," I was like, the Lord blessed us last night," and I said, Hey, here's some money. And she was just like, "What'd you do?" She thought I did something illegal.
Right. It,
You know?
it makes you feel good when you can give back to somebody, I mean,
Oh my goodness.
man,
I mean,
there's
money.
there's there's times I've had, things happen like that, and I've,
Yeah,
something that was done for me, give to me, I wasn't expecting it. So I actually turned around and give that back to somebody,
yeah,
Here you
yeah.
go. I mean, it was
Oh man,
just able to bless somebody else is makes you feel good.
all the
It does
guys
me
that
anyway.
yeah, it's an amazing feeling. And I did a lot of stuff with that money, and we saved it for a long time, and we just paid bills here and there, and we paid 2 or 3 bills off, and I took all the guys that are at the group home that I work at. I took them all out to eat, get something good to eat, and I bought one of them a pair of shoes. Just it was just really, it felt really good.
Right. You know what feels
Money's
really
not everything. Material
right.
items aren't everything, but it does make you feel good to give back.
Yeah. You know what also makes me feel good? The fact that I can see the chat now. And shout
Oh,
out
can
to
you see it?
everybody everybody that's in the chat. Um,
Good.
appreciate you for real.
Well, I'm
Thank you.
waiting.
Thank you for
I'm
being
waiting
here.
for. Sorry to interrupt. I apologize. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
you're
ahead.
good. You're good. I just was just thanking him for being here.
Yeah, thank. I'm glad you can see it now, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad you can see it.
some good people, man, for real.
What up, Daniel Howell? That's oh, what do they call him? I can't. Jaeger Dan. That's Jaeger Dan. They
Yeah,
call him at He's a redneck grave. Uh, one of Justin Stowers' really good friends, and I've gotten to know Daniel over the past 2 or 3 years from shooting music videos and stuff. He's a great guy, man. They call him Jaeger Dan. He's always passing out loose juice to people, but he's a
right.
good dude, man. Daniel's a good guy, man. Thanks for joining us this morning, man. We're going to kind of me and Buckeye. He's one of my buddies. He I am inspired by Buckeye here. If you haven't followed him yet, Daniel, follow him. He's great, great guy. I look up to him, and he wanted to start doing this Sunday stuff, and it's been a blessing. And he follows up church really close, and uh, just all around good guy, man. Can't go wrong by following him. So go click the sub button.
Yeah, and I'm
But yeah,
really thankful we started doing this. After our live last Sunday, I went out and I checked on Instagram. I had someone send me a message. I asked if it was okay to share this, and they said it was okay. I told them I'd just keep them anonymous,
this
but
is awesome. Yeah,
they didn't have. They were watching our live, but don't have an account, and I understand that because I didn't have an account, but I would see a lot of things, And he couldn't comment and say anything, but he sent me a message and he said, "Man, I saw the live, and I just wanted you to know that I had something happen in my life about 15 years ago." And he said he was bitter towards the Lord, and
mm,
he said, "Man, he said I just want you to know that I talked to God for the first time in 15 years, and he
mm,
said, I've got a lot to work on, which, I told him, I said, man, we all do. I don't have it all together. I mean, none
sure,
of us really ever truly have it all together. We all
right,
go through things and, been through things in life, situations and circumstances. That's, that's made us feel that way. There's been times where I felt like that. Shame to say it because of my faith and belief in the Lord, but there's been times I just felt like, where are you, God? But
right,
then he shows up, and lets you see that he's still there, that he still answers prayer, that he still touches lives and touches
right.
people. And we just wanted to share these things with people. We've had, you know, of course, Dee Libby, she's one of the supporters of both of us and Creek Squad and people in the community. You see her everywhere showing love, as with many of these that's in the chat. I mean, I see them everywhere. Megan, Christine, Alan. Um, gosh, I hope I'm not
Wayne,
missing anybody. They're always going out showing people love, and
right,
there's people that get up every day that work that, yeah, they've had things bad and done in their life, but they still choose to be positive, even though they're going through, things in their life. And
Yeah,
same here. I mean, some people think I probably just got it all great, and nothing bothers me. But I'm just as human as anybody else is, and I'll go through things. We all do. But
that's what
my
I thought, man. I
yeah,
thought when I first met you, I thought that dude right there is smooth as butter, man. I'm just we all have
I don't know
struggles.
about that. But it has felt good that that I've had my friends, family, even strangers, reach out to me, and because they know that I won't go telling their name, I won't go telling their situation.
Sure.
It's just like an unspoken prayer request. You know, some people don't want things told, but I know that we prayed for D. Libby's sister last weekend, but
Mhm.
we don't always understand why at the time, but B. Libby reached out to me and told me that her sister passed away, and my heart goes out to her and her family. And I had
Absolutely.
someone else reach out to me, and it really touched some people's lives in the Creek Squad community that knew this person that passed away. And Tina Deerdorf asked me, just to pray for the family, and we've been doing that, and that's what we want to do here. Try to bring something different, positive,
Right.
to the community for people that want this, for people that live like this, that believe like this. And man, much love to you guys. I mean, for real. And you all's helped me. I mean, honestly, helped me tremendously with my grieving period. Still going through it. You're still never going to get over the loss of a loved one,
Right.
especially one that you talk to every day, and friends. And that's what I'm saying. You never know when's the last time you're going to talk to somebody, or when's the last time you're going to leave a comment. You know, which
Yeah.
man, you
Yeah.
could a comment can either uplift somebody or it can tear them all the way down. It really can. I don't know if you saw that post I posted out on Instagram about oh, he's an artist. I discovered his music, and he posted, just had um I think it was a son, but it was their first Christmas together, and they went and seen Santa Claus, and he posted a picture, and he was
Yeah.
reading just some of the nasty, hateful comments that was in that. I actually did a reaction to it, which I'm going to post it hopefully sometime today. I've got several reactions I was able to get to, even though I had a migraine headache, and just felt like I needed to make because people don't realize even a comment, even just it can really hurt somebody. I mean, our
Yeah.
words and our
Yeah.
actions really do matter. I mean, they
Yeah. The
really do.
Bible talks about that. It says, you know, your 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 words are powerful.
Yeah.
Even when you don't think they are, your words are powerful. They could actually be like poison from a viper if you hurt somebody. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's of course there's a lot of different sins. We know the Ten Commandments, but there's more. There's one that's out there more than others, and that is backbiting and backstabbing, being a gossiper. There's
Right.
one verse of scripture. It says, "I suffer you not to be as a thief or a murderer or as an evildoer or as a busybody in other men's matters." And man, when I read that, I mean, that was so powerful because it said, "I suffer you not to be as a thief or a murderer or
Right.
as an evildoer." So, and being a busybody in other men's matters. And when you get in people's business and you make comments and you get out on the internet and you do these things, you're really ripping someone apart. You're stealing from them. You can murder somebody without shooting them with a gun. You know, I mean, we've
Yeah.
seen that. You can really hurt someone's family, their career, their character, just by
Right.
your comments and your words and actions. So, I mean, it just says that you're an evildoer. You're out doing
Yeah.
evil when you do those type
Right.
of
Right.
things.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. yeah, it is very powerful one way or the other, positivity or negativity. But I
Right.
just wanted to say that I hope Libby joins us today. I don't know if she will, but she's got a lot going on, I'm sure. But I really, I really, last week after uh the live, I don't know, man. I laid in bed. I went and got a nap, and like, I don't know, man. I prayed for her. I prayed for her sister and her circumstances and stuff. And
Right.
it kind of, so like that plus the tornadoes. Are you aware of the tornadoes that hit last night down here? Or?
Man, I heard about that on the news. I mean, we got some real heavy rain and thunderstorms, and there was tornado sirens that went off here too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but
Well,
I did hear about that. I
last
mean,
night, I think at least right now they're saying 6 people died.
oh
Uh,
wow, man.
Pretty close, like Clarksville, I think, and then right down the road from me, like 30, 40 minutes in Madison, I think at least 6 people died. So um, that I had a really good verse, man, that I was going to tie in a Bible verse that I was going to tie in with. Um, and I could do it next week. We could do it next week or whatever. But like the whole trajectory of what I was thinking about, what I was feeling about, and with Libby's sister, and with the tornadoes that killed 6 really close, the whole trajectory for what I was gonna share with you guys kind of changed this morning. So I have something I would like to share, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Um, I think a lot of times in life, and it's exactly what you brought up this morning. So that's exactly, I think it's perfect. And I hope that somebody watching, you get a little bit of comfort and stuff. Um, somebody said, Christina said Leroy's house was hit too,
Oh
but he's
wow.
okay. So he lost power. I know he was on last night, and that's another person, Leroy. Man, Leroy has turned a lot of stuff around. Man,
Right.
I
Yeah,
remember,
yeah. We've
I
been praying for
remember
him. You know.
Yeah, I've said a few prayers for Leroy. I don't want to say too much about it, but whenever
Right.
all that happened with him, and he was actually in a coma, I found out about it before anybody knew. I was at Redneck Rave, and I remember Chad. You know who Chad Arms is?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I
Okay.
saw your interview.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Chad's really good buddies with Leroy, and he just messaged me and he's like, "Hey man, we can't get a hold of Upchurch. If you can, throw him a message and just tell him, hey, give me a call, Leroy,' because they were at the hospital and everything."
Right.
And I was just like, because I was ready to meet Leroy. He was going to be there, and so he had that had happened to him, and I remember praying about it. I was like, this is terrible. This is going to be a big deal. Let's just hope he pulls through. And then I messaged church that early in the morning, and he called me, and I actually told up church about Leroy's condition over the phone because he was like texting me, and I was like, well, man, I was like, if you could just give me a call, it's kind of a hard thing to talk about.
Right.
He called me, and I was just like, bro, I don't know how to say this, but Leroy's in bad shape. And it
Man.
was really, really hard to tell him that, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, dude, he's like, give me their numbers and tell me who to call or whatever. And so he called him, and that was crazy, man. That was crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole different circumstance. But anyway, Leroy's been through it, I guess, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Hopefully
Yeah.
he's okay in the storm. Yeah.
Yeah. Continued prayers for them, and I did see Ryan's Instagram post this morning. When I checked my Instagram, where they were out. He said, "Sorry if I haven't gotten back to anybody's messages." I guess him and Deerdorf and
Yeah.
Billy and some of them were out on four wheelers. And Ripta was out. Just checking on people.
Trying to
And
help you. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and that's what we're all about, man. I mean, people don't
Right.
realize that. They don't know our personal lives. They don't know the things that we do behind the scenes trying to help people. You know,
Right.
and that's why I gravitated towards this so much. I mean, because there's we all have more in common than what we don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And looking after people, praying for people. I mean,
I know a buddy who has an excavation. He owns an excavation company and stuff. He's got bulldozers and backhoes and all that stuff. And they went out last night and they were helping people. I was going to do that or thinking about it because we got chainsaws, we got some equipment and stuff.
right,
Me and my dad and his brothers, were my uncles. But they said on the news, don't. They said let the first responders go in and make after that, then they're going to holler at people for help. So
right.
they said to let the first responders go in first. Now that it's daylight, you know what I'm saying, they can see what's going on,
Right.
and
Yeah,
they said
well,
six people were dead so far. So
wow,
that's
man,
pitiful.
that's devastating, especially right before Christmas. And,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are worrying about what they're going to get for Christmas and just material things. There's people actually going through, some of the worst times in their life,
right.
and man, my heart goes out to them. I've experienced that, here living in Ohio. We had some tornadoes rip through, what, 2 years ago. Of course, we've had some since then, but man, it devastated the area. And people lost power, but it was also good to see. And it's something that the news don't report. They just want to report all the bad things that are happening. There's people lost power, so they just, man, they were having like cookouts, cooking the food up before it went bad, giving it out to people, going and
Yeah,
helping people, taking bags of
that's
ice,
crazy.
water, you know. And I know one guy myself, I mean, I've never seen such a giving, guy. He retired, and as soon as he did, he started donating his time to helping charities. And
Yeah,
when he could be sitting back doing whatever he wanted, but
right, right.
he was there, during that devastation, out going up helping. Just anything that you could think of that you wanted him to do, he would do it. And
Somebody said R.I.P. Hicks. So Hicks was the guy's name who was he did he work for Upchurch? Do you know much about him?
I
I
sure don't. I mean, I just
Yeah,
had someone reach out to me asking for prayer. I don't know the situation, but I
yeah,
know that all of them knew him and was affected
yeah.
by it.
I
But
think that he worked in the warehouse or something. I think he did like stuff like that. So yeah, man, I hate I hate to see a loss of life, especially if he was a young man. It's just it's very sad. So um yeah, prayers for Hicks. Um Whatever the situation is, and his family and Creek Squad family. Um, but yeah, it's pitiful. But yeah, so in these atrocities, in these bad things that happen, right? This is what hit me this morning. In these things that happen in life, and I mean, I've lost a set of grandparents. I still have my mom and dad. Wonderful, wonderful. God bless me with some of the best parents in the world. You lost your mother at one point, right?
yeah,
And
2 years ago, lost my
22.
mother-in-law first, and of course, my
Okay.
dad passed away, years ago, and I was able to. They wanted me to speak at his funeral, and it was actually, I thought, well, what am I going to say? I don't want
Right.
to get off, topic or anything, but I'm just saying that, the Lord can bless you right in the middle of losing somebody. He can be
Yeah.
there for you right in the middle of grieving, through tragedy. Um, and he's proved it time and time again, losing people is never easy. I just lost one of he was my coworker first, but ended up being my friend and my brother. We fished all the time. I talked to
Yeah.
him on a Monday. 2 days later, I get a call on Wednesday, my buddy telling me that he passed away. So it's man, it's been tough, man. That's why I said you
Yeah.
never know what someone's going through.
Right.
That's why what's so hard about being kind to somebody. You know,
Yeah. Well,
really.
when these things happen, right? So in life, and they're going to happen in life, when these things happen, um, you lose. And I think Daniel, if he's watching, he had lost his wife at one time. Very sad. I know that about him. I've followed him on Facebook and stuff, and I'm not sure what happened, but things like this when they happen. Yeah, he said Daniel Howe said I don't want to get personal with you, Dan, but I love you, brother, and I've seen your Facebook stuff, and I've never asked, but I've seen tragedy. You know what I'm saying? My wife died in my arms 3 years ago, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. I couldn't imagine. Right? I'm married. I've been married for 5 years. Um, couldn't imagine. I've been with my wife for 11 years. Been married for 5. So when things like this happen, right? I have a Bible verse that talks about this as well. Um, so I think a lot of times we look at God and we say, and I don't know everything, I don't claim to know why God does what he does or doesn't do what he doesn't do. But I could say this. I think a lot of times my dad had cancer when he was like 30, maybe 20, late 20s, 30s. And I was a little kid. I was probably like 5 years old. I barely remember. I just remember him being sick. So he had cancer. They had to go in and, he was in stage 3. He had to have a lot of chemo and everything, surgery to get it out of his lymph nodes. He had one over here, a big tumor over here. And I remember he was telling me at the time, he said, I had, I had 2 kids. He had me and my sister. She was probably like 3, I was like 5. And he said, I couldn't figure out why these bad things were happening to me. That's the worst thing, somebody hears you have cancer, especially at a young age. He said, I could not figure out why God would let that happen. And he said, I just remember praying, talking to God and he said, I have kids, I have young kids. I've been going to church. I've been doing everything that he thought, would say that God would bless somebody like that, right? And so when you're in the middle of a situation like that and you're going through this crazy storm and you're like, why me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why me? I try to do things right. I pray, I try to help people. I have some verses that kind of point to the reason why. And I'm not saying I know everybody's circumstance because it doesn't make sense. But all I'm
Right.
trying to do is give some comfort. I think a lot of times, and my dad heard in his prayer that he was praying, he kind of got the answer back from God. He told me this, that it's the curse of living in the world controlled by the wicked one.
Right. It
We're
is.
in a
Right.
we're in a fallen world right now. We're not perfect. We are in a fallen state. The earth, as amazing as it is, it's technically controlled by a lot of evil spiritual
Oh yeah. It
the
is.
devil. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why things die. That's why we suffer and we go through different things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a terrible person because your
Because
mother
bad
passed away.
because bad things happen. It didn't
Right.
matter. And I can't say anything because I have felt and said those same things. You know,
Right.
I try to be good to people. You try to do your best. You try to do your best to love people. Then bad things will happen. And you
Right.
know, and the thing about it is, why is it always everybody wants to blame God first?
Exactly.
When
Exactly.
when it's Satan, I mean the
Exactly.
devil, he will get you down and pound you down and want to drag you down there and make you stay there until the
Right.
day you die so he can get your soul. You know,
I think
whether
our
people believe that or
mindset.
not, it
Daniel
is
said,
true.
"What
Go
doesn't
ahead,
kill
bro.
you makes you stronger." Uh, that's true. That's true. But I think our mindset is to immediately go, God, why did you let this happen to me? When the mindset, I would love for everybody's mindset to switch to, you just said it. Um, you know, shame on you, Satan.
Right,
I'm not going to let you take over my emotions. I'm not going to let you take over my positivity because
right,
this terrible situation has happened. And it's super hard to do that, right? Because you say, God, you can help. You are the ultimate power in the universe. But the way things are set up right now is we are all going to live about 80, 90 years if we're lucky. And then and then God is going to make things right. At some point, it will be different, and you know, then our spirit goes on to another place. So it's such a thing, and like I've been practicing doing that when something goes wrong to say, "Why, God, did you let this happen?" It's really hard not to jump to God, but
Right.
if you say, you know, Satan, you're not going to steal my spirit. You're not going to steal
Right.
this. This happened, and in the Bible, actually, what's crazy is the Bible actually goes into detail about what Satan, some of it of what he
Right.
controls, like disease, famine,
And
like all kinds of
right.
weird stuff. So
Yeah, and I know what you're getting at too. Man, it's true. I mean, he's the one that does it, you know. So
yeah,
why do we blame
right,
God? You know, I mean,
right,
you don't, and that's the thing about it is like you see someone score a touchdown, they'll pump their chest and point up to God. You don't never see him pointing down to the devil saying, "Thank you, devil, for letting me score this touchdown." But
right, right.
God's always there for us, and man, I've learned it. I've you know so many times in my life I thought, God, where are you there? Where are you at? You know, I mean,
Yeah,
then later on in life, you know, I'll realize that He was there all along. He helped me
sure.
all along. You know, and I really feel bad for Daniel. I couldn't
Yeah,
imagine going through something like that. I'm glad that you're here, Daniel. I'm glad all of you are here, you know, showing love to each other. And man, just even outside of here, man, just go out and continue to do it. And man, I like I said, I couldn't imagine going through something like that, but I have been there when I've held loved ones' hands as they went. Um, too many times than what I want to count. Friends, you know,
yeah.
I remember,
I
you
know
know,
Dan. I know Dan personally, and he's just a good dude, man. Just a solid, just a good, nice guy. And I mean, I got to know him over the past couple of years just from being around him at the redneck raves and the mud parks and stuff. And then we added each other on Facebook, and I saw his post every now and then, and he would post like memories from 3 or 4 years ago, and I was
right,
like, man, I don't want to ask him, I don't want to get personal with him, and we don't have to do that, but it was just such a terrible thing to know, like that his, he was so close with his wife and she passed away. It's just so sad to me. It's just,
right,
and I believe, and there's verses we can read them that God is with the brokenhearted. He really is, and we
right,
don't know. We all are going to go through rough times, and we don't know how close He actually is. The Bible talks about He is close to the brokenhearted. He
right.
is very receptive to um,
Yeah, it says
talk to them and to be
he
with
is
them.
he is nigh unto them, you know, that are of a broken heart and those that are of
Right.
a contrite spirit. And man, there's I'm just amazed. You know, we all go through things. You know, we all handle things differently. You know, I don't
Yeah.
always handle things the right way. You know, but
Oh, yeah.
at least I've got a forgiving heart that wants to forgive people.
Right.
Terrible things that have been done to me, you know. But
Sure.
I could never imagine ever holding a grudge, you know, to the Lord because I know that He's done so many things for me.
Right.
I mean, He has physically healed me. I'd like to tell that story. I've seen it happen. I witnessed it
Right.
with my grandpa. You know, when they pulled the family and said, you know, they pretty much just give him just no time to live at all. You know,
Mm.
but man, that wasn't the final say so. I watched him for years after the Lord healed him. I mean, completely physically healed this, you know.
Right.
Man,
And there's a lot of people. There's a guy that I get on TikTok with, and we talk, and we like. I was on there a while back with a bunch of like probably 400 or 500 people watching, and he's this big. I'm going to end your faith and all this contradictions that the Bible does and all this stuff.
right,
We got on there and we were debating, and I was like, "Yeah, brother, but science. When science ends, science is a wonderful thing, but when
right.
it ends, how do you explain people who have been like diagnosed with these terminal cancers and then they go back and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
That's not science. Science
Hey,
can't explain that.
I said,
There are things that happen that you
right.
cannot explain. Salty Southern Mama said my friend Jeff used to say, "Why not me?" It kind of rubbed me the wrong way I was 28, but he was right. God, this is a very good point. God didn't promise us a rose garden. Look at what Jesus endured. Jesus was the Son of God, and he endured one of the worst suffering and that we could, imaginable. And so,
Right.
and for whatever reason, when God, he is who he is, and he does what he does, and he did make a way for us to get back to uh, paradise. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he didn't
Right.
have to. He didn't have to do that. But Solitaire said, "We are blessed just because God hears our cries." Right. Even if He does nothing, at least He's with us during our trials. Right. This world is temporary. This A lot of people get wrapped up in why does this happen and why does this happen and why does this happen, guys. This world's temporary.
Right.
It is the way it is because of, well, obviously, if you've read the book, it's a cursed world. It's separate from God, not in everything, but in some things. And the evil one. The Bible talks about principalities of the air. He has he is allowed to do what God lets him do, and tragic things happen. And really, all we can do, our hope is in God. Our hope is in Christ. And anybody, and there's a lot of people, even atheists, on their deathbed, they say they call out to God
Right.
because deep down, most people know that. You know what I'm saying? They know that there's a supreme being, and that's where our hope lies.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's where my hope lies. And the thing about it is, no one can take that away from you. They can steal you and rob you from everything else, but they can never take your faith and your belief in the Lord. Especially like you said. I mean, um, when you was talking about things happening. Doctors can't even explain it.
Right.
My wife was there with me when that happened to me. When the results and everything shows one thing, the X-rays, then all of a sudden you feel something miraculous happen, a total healing, and you go back, put yourself through the torture of the test, all that stuff, just to see those X-rays and everything is gone. Everything. You know, I've had that
Incredible.
happen. I honestly have. Um, I've tried to tell that story, even though some people don't believe it. It's not a story; it's a truth.
Tell it. Tell it. You
It
want to
really,
tell it? You
it
want to
really,
share it?
yes, sir. I mean, I was gosh, I was a young man. I mean, I just had a baby on the way, and I blew out I blew out the, what is it like? I guess they count that like that cartilage in your disc. But I had
Oh,
two of
okay.
my discs blown out. I
Mm,
forget the names of those discs, but it was the lowest ones, and the stuff in
gotcha.
between was this. I mean, my spine was all crooked, from where it had blown out. I tried to lift it. I was on the job. I lifted this container. It was.
Mm.
I thought I was going to be He-Man, lift this thing, and it just felt like something exploded in my back, like someone shot me. And
Oh,
I was that way for 5.5 years.
oh
Went
my
through
goodness.
therapy, went and seen, got a second opinion from a doctor. They said that, if they did surgery, I could, be paralyzed from the waist down. I could never walk again, you
Mm.
know. Um, they both said the same thing, and I never will forget when it happened, and how it happened. Y- And this is what I'm trying to get at. I was going to church at that time. My wife had to help me put my pants on in my shoes. And as a man, that's why I don't get some of these people not working, some of these men not working, because all I've ever known to do was work. And I was discouraged, man. I was beyond discouraged. We were in the process of buying our home, and I didn't think I was going to get it. But you know what? The Lord worked it out. I mean, I went to church, went up to get prayed for, and sometimes we put man and put them on a pedestal so much,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize I was doing that. I went up and got prayed for like I did. I don't know how many times. There was a guy from Kentucky that was there, and and man, I was in so much pain. I went down the handicap ramp and come up to get me a drink of water. And sorry, my dogs are barking.
Oh, you're
They
good.
might be at the door, but just trying to
You're good.
discourage me. But that's okay. But I never will forget going and sitting on the back seat, and I leaned up just trying to get some relief. And man, it just something spoke to me and said, "If you go up there again, I'll heal you." And I was kind of reluctant, but I got up and I went up there, and I seen that they were still busy praying for people, and I sat down because I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And one of the old guys that was there, I loved him to death. He was patting me on the back, poor my poor brother, and all of a sudden I looked down, my shoe was untied, and I reached down and I tied it. And when I
Oh my
did, it was
goodness.
like, you know what I mean? I motioned for my wife, and I was like, let's go. And man, I couldn't believe it. It was instant. It was um, it was a miracle. And people don't believe that. I mean, they don't believe that that can happen, but it can.
Wow.
And I never will forget
So
going.
you reached over to tie your shoe and you realized I can bend
Oh, no,
down.
no doubt, because I couldn't even put my shoes on. My wife
Oh
used to
wow.
push me around the house in an office chair, you
Oh
know,
my goodness.
and man, it took all the pride out of me. I mean, I was so discouraged going through that. Then
Right.
I realized that I was putting my faith and trust in man instead of the Lord. And when I put my faith and trust in Him and listened to His voice, that's when He healed me. And
Right.
it's you don't have to go to church to find the Lord. I mean,
No.
I hate to say this, but I don't go anymore. My wife don't. I don't know anybody that lives as good as she does, but she was there for it. The Lord
Hey
still
Mariah,
give
what's up? Man?
He still give
That's
me
a
my house. He healed me. I never will forget going to, the workers' care, and I was putting them weights in. I was pushing them with my feet. I wanted to
yeah.
go back to my doctor to do that test again, man. That test that was nothing to man. It was painful. They would shoot this dye in your spine and tilt you upside down, and it would give you this
Mhm.
bad migraine headache. I mean, so bad.
I
So
bet.
when I went for asked for that to be done again, he looked at me like I was crazy. But they did it anyway because I demanded it. I wanted to know. I
Right.
knew what had happened. And so when they did it again, we went to the office, me and my wife, and he said, "Something happened. We're going to have you do this again." And I knew what it was. He didn't want to accept the fact that he probably thought he had the wrong results, because my back wasn't like that no more. But
That's crazy.
I went ahead, went through it again for the third time. Then I never will forget it. And what amazes me that he did not want to admit that the Lord performed a miracle on my back. But I saw this guy's years later because I ended up having a job working in that hospital. And
Yeah.
here I was on call moving this 350-pound printer. And my
Wow.
back has never hurt since, you know.
Ain't that amazing? And see, that's another thing. It's almost like a lot of times a lot of people who don't even necessarily believe, because of all this stuff that happens, our mental, our I'm trying to figure out the word, our perception of God and what He does do is so whacked out of because we don't really understand that He can do it. It's almost like whenever something like that happens, you're like, there's no way that was God. That was just a coincidence. A lot of people do
Right.
that. They're like, oh, there's some explanation, but there's not. A lot of times they don't really. Whenever it happened to me, I already talked about my circumstance. When it happened to me, I knew who it was. And
Right.
I
Exactly.
remember I remember at the time telling God, if I ever get a platform, I will tell my story. And thank you so much for sharing that. That's incredible. I wish everybody could go through something like that. And because
Man,
a lot of times bad things happen so much that we're like, you know, this is life and it's so bad. And people get pulled down like that. Look at what
right.
Daniel said. Check this out. This is incredible. Daniel, Dan the man, if you're in here, buddy, this is why we do it. And we're nobody. All we are is just people who are tools and hope that we bring some positivity and direct people to the Lord. That's it. Direct people to the Lord, and hopefully it helps them out in whatever they're going through. Obviously, we love music too. We do some talk about music and church and Creek Squad. Daniel
Right.
Howe, Jaeger Dan just said, "I believe I'm watching this for a reason because I
Oh,
have
no
been in a
doubt.
bad, I've been in a bad spot lately, and listening to you guys is helping. I need to get closer to the Lord." Dan, all the partying and all of the stuff that we do, and we have a good time. All that's fine and dandy, but sometimes, buddy, uh, me myself included, I get into this mode of life where I'm like, "Hey, get online, talk about your music, do this and do this." I believe that if somebody, especially when they've been through things that you've been through, Dan the man, I believe it's very important to build yourself a foundation and get close to God, and then everything else. Um, if you get that mindset, if you get that foundation in your heart close to God, relationship wise, you're talking, you're praying, you're saying, "Lord, direct me, show me direction, give me direction, let me know what I need to do, let me know what I need to do for my kids, my life. What do you want me to do? What is my purpose? What is the main goal of my life?" If you're doing that daily or every other day or whatever, I believe you will be led, you'll be pointed in the good direction, and I believe that God will help you. He literally,
Yes, sir.
um Buckeye just gave a physical example. I've had the same thing happen to me. I was suffering with really bad anxiety. I can't even explain how bad it was. It was insane to think about now. I was literally almost unable to work. I wasn't even hardly functioning. And I literally I feel like Dan, I love you, bro.
This
I
means
appreciate
something. It
you for
really
jumping
does.
on here, dude. If you need to talk, holler at me afterwards. Shoot me a message. But man, if you need help, just start talking. Just start praying to him. He's close to the brokenhearted. I've thought about you a lot over the past couple of years because I don't know your story, but I know that you there were times you were post and you just really were going through it, man. But God bless you, bro. I that's what it's for. Buckeye hit me up a few weeks ago. "Man, people need this." Was he ever right, or was he ever right? That man spoke through Buckeye. He saw through his sunglasses. God spoke through him.
Man, we're nobody. You know, I've never claimed to be anybody. Um, that's why I said I don't go to church anymore. I don't look
Yeah,
down on these people, but there's just a lot of man-made beliefs, a lot of dogma, and I just felt like I couldn't be a part of it.
there
Um,
is a lot. Yeah,
there is, man. It's so bad. That's why there's so many different religions, so many different names, and and it all don't make no sense. I mean, I'm so thankful that now we do have a platform. We do have the internet where it's don't all have to be wicked. Where
right.
I'm not ashamed to speak on these things. I don't try to
Mm.
put something weird off on people. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that need some hope, that need some help, and the Lord is the only one that can provide that. Um,
Right,
Man, I would do anything I could to help my brothers and sisters. I would do anything to try to help them. But there's no one that can help you like the Lord can. I've told my
right,
son, man, I was like, there's only so much your dad can do, but
right,
there's so much more that he can do through you. And man, I believe that. I believe that we're
right,
here for a
right.
reason. You know, like I always say, man, I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. And
Exactly.
I mean,
The
the
help that I can give,
right.
or you can give, out of our own pockets or material things or whatever, that's temporary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, I'm more than happy to help anybody out that I can.
Same
But
here.
I barely got a boat myself. You know what I'm saying? Before I
Right.
can,
Right.
but you know what I'm saying? That is one thing that's overlooked is spiritual, emotional, positivity, all that stuff.
Some people
That
are ashamed. They're ashamed of it. They're afraid to be labeled a Bible thumper or something, which
yeah.
I've
But
never believed on doing.
when you've experienced what you've experienced, you just shared your story. Thank you for doing it. That's awesome. When you've experienced
That's
what
just
you've
one of
experienced,
many. There's
right,
so
right,
many more I'd love to share, and hopefully we'll continue to do this. I don't, want to take up a whole lot of people's time because there's like I said, there's people in the comments that need this too, and they're
yeah,
wonderful people. It's about them also. You
sure,
know, but
yeah. Don't feel
I
obligated.
love telling people. I love
I'm not
sharing it.
trying to. We're not trying to alienate anybody or make
No,
somebody
no,
feel
sir.
inferior. If you don't believe, that's your business. But
Right.
we're trying to spread things that have happened in our life. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody's got a story, man, say it below. React attacks in here. Great
There's
guy, great channel. Y'all go
Yes,
follow
sir.
him.
He is. I
Um,
felt the Lord helping him, um, praying for my brother, knowing he was going through stuff. He didn't even know I was praying for him, and
yeah,
I've seen the Lord move in his life. And so thankful for that guy. So cool to see how the Lord's helping him too. And all of these in the chat. I mean, amazing
absolutely.
people. People's
He,
re- they have reached out with so many stories and just asked for prayer, and that's
right.
overwhelming to me, man. I mean, it really is. And
That's great. That's
I,
great, man.
I think we should be doing this for real. I love
Oh,
to
dude.
talk about music all day long. I do,
Yeah.
man. I love it.
We could
But
talk about it all.
oh yeah,
But
man.
whenever you hit me up and you said people need this, you got me. You got me right here. And I was like, you know what? If nothing else happens, let's say all the music in the world that I put out or that you listen to or whatever, if all that doesn't do what I want it to do, or if it's not that takes off, what's more important? Helping people is any
Yes,
way I
sir.
can or you can, by giving them an outlet to talk about their problems. That's more important than, that's what music is to me anyway. But React Attack, I'm going to be on his channel later today, guys.
Yeah.
Probably, he said he put 5 p.m. React, what time zone are you in? Because I think that's 6 for me, or
Yeah.
maybe just 5. Is he
I'll
in
be.
Central?
I know that we're on a different time zone here too. Because I was just on his live. I didn't know he was going to do all that for me last week, man. I love that guy. He created an intro and everything. But
That's awesome.
I'll be there for to catch that. I enjoy his channel. Um,
Yeah,
he's a natural at it.
yeah, he is. Yeah, he has a very good the way he speaks and stuff. Yeah, he's a pro, man.
He's a
Red
pro.
Red Eye. Yeah, he has the media experience that we're trying to get. But Red Eye Patriot. He's another buddy of mine. He's a mod for, I think,
is
Just
he
Co
in
White's
here? Is
channel.
he in here also?
Yeah, Red Eye Patriot. He's
Yeah,
really
he's
really
a
good
good.
dude too.
He's a good dude too.
Yeah.
I commented on one of his Instagram posts this morning, just trying to show some encouragement. I mean, there's people needed. I mean, they really
Oh yeah.
do, man. I mean, you never know what a word of encouragement or a kind word can do for somebody's day or their life, even. Just
Right.
as much as a bad one will do. You know,
Solitaire said the word of God never returns void. You know,
no,
there there is so much power in reading it. Um, I'll share a story real quick. Um, React Attack say y'all need to stop. The media experience we're looking for, React Attack, he got it all. We missed out. It went over my head. It goes zoop right over my head. So no, I'm
yeah,
just kidding. He's a good dude.
yeah, that guy there, he like I said, when I had my other channel, he subscribed to me and was just, commenting, showing so much love to me. Then I realized that, that he had a channel. he didn't say, "Hey, man, why don't you come check out my channel? Why don't you do this one?" You know, and that's what I'm discovering and finding out that there's people out here that have so much talent, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and of course, I went at I don't know how many times me and my son's been fishing, listening to him, just go at each other playing video games, while we were fishing, but now he created this other channel reacting to music, and I see it.
Mhm.
The you know, Lord's just blessing people, man. He really is. And
It
you
really
don't have
is,
to be
man.
some perfect person for the Lord to bless you,
A
especially.
lot of times especially in America, we think, well, I'm not rich, I'm not famous, and why can't I get what this person has or this person? Guys, people in other countries, a lot of other countries would kill to have 25% of what we have or what we're
Right,
privileged to here. We can literally drive down the road and we can choose from 30 restaurants, most of us. You know what I'm saying? These other people, a lot of countries don't even have clean drinking water. And
right,
so everything is perspective. You know what I'm saying? I know a guy who's a missionary, and he said, if you came over here and lived for a year, you would understand how blessed we are.
right.
You really would. You know what I mean? It's amazing what we forget, what people forget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Anyway,
we do. We just
yo,
take it.
main girl. What's up, yo, main girl? Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore anybody, guys.
Right.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, read those. Yeah, she's a good one too. Just a bunch
Yeah,
of good
she's really
people,
nice.
really are. I
Todd
see
J, what's up, buddy? Todd
Alan's
J
been
said the
here.
Bible reads about forgiveness 77 times.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, especially when you've had some of the worst vile things done to you, um, and you've learned to forgive that person. Don't mean that you have to hang out with them. Don't mean you ever have to see them again. But you've forgiven that person. Man, it's like losing a big heavy load off of you. I never thought I'd ever get to the place where it said to forgive your enemies, to pray for them. I
Right,
mean, I thought that was the hardest thing in the world, but when it becomes easy, it becomes so easy just to let things go. Um,
right.
it really does.
It's a hard mindset to have
And
because
a lot of people can't. They can't do it. I've had people tell me I can't forgive that person. I don't see how you
yeah,
do it because what was done to me was way worse than what was done to them. You know,
right,
but But it's I don't look down on them because I get it, man. I understand it. You know, I understand being upset at that person, being mad at them for what they did to you, for the
yeah,
terrible, horrible things that they said to you that weren't true, or they ripped you off out of a lot of money. I've been
yeah,
there. You know, I've had some terrible, vile things happen to me. And, I mean, all of my life. I mean, we've all been through those things. But when you've
yeah.
learned to forgive them and just let them go, you're the one that can sleep better at night, not them.
Right. A lot of times, when you hold hate or anger in your heart for a long period of time, it changes you. It don't change them.
Right.
They don't.
And
That normally they don't come to you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I realized what I did to you." Most of the
right.
time, they don't even think about it. It changes
Yeah.
you. Um, when you're holding that kind of stuff in, I feel like it can physically manifest. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
High
yeah,
blood
it can,
pressure,
man, it can,
anger. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
It can break you
Daniel
down.
said. Daniel said that's going to be a hard one for me. I'm still not there, man. We're not. I mean, I'm not either. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I've forgiven everybody. No, there's
Right.
been times I got into it with. I don't get into it with many people. I'm very just try to be non-confrontational. Try to be, I'll apologize to you 5 times before we come to blows. You know what I'm saying? But like, there was a guy who I've known for a few years, and he kept doing these things, and he kept putting one of my he was supposedly managing and helping manage him, but he was putting one of my buddies that I've known since middle school in a really weird position to where there was just a lot of fraudulent things and a lot of stuff that was not true and asking people for money and just like there was just a bunch of weird stuff going on. And we got into it and he actually called me and he said, I unfriended you on Facebook, blah blah blah. And I said, and we got into it pretty heavy, pretty hardcore. And the Lord spoke to me during all that, and He said, "Hey." Don't get out of character too much. Tell him that you pray for him. And I actually have prayed for the guy before. I'm like, hey, I
Right.
don't want this to go bad for my buddy. I don't want this to keep happening. Um, maybe he'll get straightened out and maybe good things will happen. But he actually almost cost my buddy a record deal. Like, well, I say record deal, but to able to go have huge opportunities because they didn't like the guy and he was in the middle. There was just a big stir. And so I told him while we were arguing, I said, look, man, I said, I'm not against you. I don't want you to do bad. I don't want these things to happen. I said, I'm not perfect either. I've done many things I'm not proud of. I said, but I said, I actually pray for you. I said, I prayed for you the other day. I said that things, you know, start doing good and start working out and like these good things start happening. I said, but you got to change, bro. I said, you can't do those things. You cannot do the things you're doing. I said, so, we got into this big mess. And as soon as I said, I actually pray for you to do good because I want to see you do good. I want to see you prosper.
Right.
And he was really upset. There's something like whenever the upchurch thing happened for me, he was really upset. He wasn't great. He wasn't like happy for me. And so you
Right.
can tell like these things. And so the Lord told me while we were arguing, he said, tell him you prayed for him. And because I actually did. And I told him that. And whenever I said that, everything stopped. The
Right.
argument kind of stopped. And he,
Right.
because he thought I'm against him. I want to see him fail. And I don't. I don't want to see anybody who's for good fail. I don't. I love seeing
Right.
people do good. You know what I'm saying? Unless those people are turning people away from God or unless they're doing things that are going to hurt people, yes, I don't want them to succeed
Right.
then. And so whenever I said that, you know what I'm saying? The Bible doesn't return void because the Bible says your enemies, be nice to your enemies, and it will be as heaping coals on top of their head.
Right.
In other words, they're kind of like, what is this what is this weird juju here? We're in an
Man.
argument. He's telling me he prayed for me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It kind of makes them back up and realize, hey, there's a bigger picture here. You know?
Man, me being my age and going through the things that I've been in my life, there's people I know that they couldn't forgive that situation. And I
Yeah,
know that if I didn't put it into God's hands, because not every battle is ours to fight. There's been
yeah,
times that and I'll just be honest with you. I mean, this is how honest I am. I could have been in prison if I would have handled things on my own. If I would
sure,
have took care of that situation on my
right,
own.
right,
I mean, honestly, especially when someone's attacking your family or hurting one of your kids. I mean, it
right,
was bad. I mean, the Lord knows. I mean, it was so bad that I was pulled over the side of the road and I was shaking,
yeah,
because I knew that someone was harming my daughter. And the Lord took care of it. He took care of every bit of it. And I don't know
right,
how many times in my life where there was times where I could have acted out in a certain way,
yeah,
and what good would that have done my wife and kids? I'd have been in jail, wouldn't been able to take care of them.
right,
But the Lord took care of that situation when you might not see it right then. Sometimes it might take weeks, sometimes it might even take years, sometimes it might just him, just knuckling you on top of the head saying, "Hey, remember when I took care of that situation?" And
yeah.
man, it's amazing, it really is. And
It
and
is.
especially when you were so hurt as a young child, by one of your parents or family members or something. I mean, I
It's
used to have
terrible.
so much hatred and bitterness and anger and
Mm,
everything built up in me in my youth, towards my father, because he left my mother, with three kids to raise by herself, and
mm,
drank all the time, ran the topless bars, beat on her, and I was just a little kid, and didn't know if he was dead or alive for years. And I used to say, when I hate to say this, but I said, man, when I find out where he's at, um, or if he's ever dies, I'm gonna piss and shit on his grave. I've said those words, you know,
sure.
but I was so thankful that when my father passed away, I had a relationship with him, even though he lived in Florida. I would talk to him on the phone, and I knew that, the way my mother felt and some of, my brother and sister felt about him. So I kind of kept that private. I kind of kept, because I knew that they didn't really necessarily like him. But I was thankful to have been used as a tool to have led him to the Lord. And
Oh wow, yeah,
I knew that he had,
yeah.
that he had prayed and asked God to forgive him and come into his life before he passed away. And it was all closure to me when I drove to Florida and they wanted me to say something at his funeral. And I
Mm,
thought, man, what am I going to say? What am I going to do?
wow,
And
that's so crazy, man.
I
That
was
came
able,
full circle, man. That
yeah,
came full circle.
it really
Here's
did,
the
man.
thing, man. If you can't change him, if him having kids can't change him, if his wife and doing what's right can't change him, that's crazy to me. To me, that's like, whoa, if you having kids can't change you as a person and make you want to be better, that's so
Right.
wild. But guess who can change him? The Lord can.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It could change anybody. That's why
Right,
I don't believe in looking at someone's past, because I know that the Lord can change somebody in an instant and that person ain't the same no more, you know.
right.
And just because you walk with the Lord don't mean that you're perfect, I mean, I've never claimed that. And I'm
No,
glad that
no,
people that came to me has felt that way. I'm glad that they that I was able to talk to them about this without browbeating them, without making them feel guilty or putting them
right,
down.
right.
You
Oh
know.
man, we're in the same shoes. We're all in the same shoes.
Oh yes,
I,
sir.
if I've ever made you feel like I've judged certain things or whatever, if I have, which I mean, all of us have, I apologize for that. And if I've ever made anybody feel like, if I've ever given off the impression of I have all my stuff together, that's simply not true.
Right,
I struggle with things daily that I shouldn't be doing,
man.
or
We all
like
do. We all do.
I get angry and I say things I shouldn't say to my wife, or I get angry and whatever. We all do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not perfect. We're just forgiven.
Right.
I hope. Pray. I
thank
hope.
thank goodness that he forgives us. That we could forgive others in their trespasses. And that's the thing about it. That's the path, honestly, to salvation is forgiveness.
Right.
If we can't forgive, things that people's done to us, then how we expect to be forgiven? You
Yeah,
know,
and it's hard. It's very hard.
you know what?
When you know you're in the right. I had this girl that I was dating. I was probably 19, 18, 19, and like I was I had, but see, I had done things I shouldn't have done. I was very young, and I was a completely different person. First of all,
Right,
but
right,
she was a good person, and we went together great. We dated for about 2 years, and we'd actually talked about getting married and all this stuff. And I had remembered that I had done stuff I shouldn't have done. Broke up with her, hurt her, and then we got back together. And then there was another guy that was involved, and she was seeing him, and they were trying to hide it from me and all this stuff. It was really weird. And I remember in Wendy, well, I don't want to. I remember and
at Wendy's,
they
right? You're
yeah,
getting a
they were
double
at Wendy's. They
cheeseburger.
were there. Yeah, I already said it. They were working, and I remember walking in there grabbing the dude by the shirt. I cleared the line, grabbed him by the shirt, and I said, "I know what's been going on," because he didn't think I knew. I said, "I know what's been going on," and I said, "If I come around this counter, I'm going to hurt you." And I remember going to my car, and he went in the back and locked himself in the back. And I remember going to my car, and I got a tire iron out, and I was going to bust because there was a lot of
Hey, I've
lies
been
that we
there,
made.
man. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. I've been
I
there.
got a tire iron out, and it was almost like the devil was raging through me, man. And I saw his car, and I was going to go mess his car up, and all this stuff. And then I immediately stopped.
Right,
When I had that thing in my hand, I immediately stopped, and I said, "Stop!" And I felt something come over me, and it said, "This is only going to bring more suffering and pain to your life.
right.
Stop."
Yeah,
And I
that
immediately dropped it, and I said, I can't do this. Isn't me. This isn't me. And
right.
I felt betrayed, and I felt all those feelings. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, now see that, and that's the way life turns out. And in that moment, I was ready to act like I'd never done before. But
Right.
guess what? Guess what? 10, 15 years later, I couldn't be
Right.
happier. I couldn't be
Right.
happier now. So React Attack said, I'm going to read, I feel like
Read
I'm
some
going to read
comments.
some comments. React Attack said, my buddy, I guess he meant brother. My brother spent 2 years in Africa. And when we came back, people throwing half drinks, half drink bottles of water away would trigger him. Yeah. I mean, you think about it. You think about it, we're so blessed and we don't even realize it half the time. Um, you know, we all want the next big car and the next big, I'm guilty myself. Next car, we want the best, of everything. But a lot of people would give the world where they live just to have fresh
Right.
drinking water. And that's
Exactly.
amazing. That I think all of us, if we could see, some of the stuff that people go through from other countries, and we'd be so grateful. Red Eye Patriot, I don't know if I could ever forgive the person who harmed me. It ruined my entire life and set me on a path of destruction and misery. I
Hey,
understand, brother. I
I
understand, and
totally
I'm
I totally understand that, man. I
yeah,
mean, I've been there. I honestly have. Um, yeah, I didn't think that I would be able to forgive some of the people that I have. But you know what? Once I forgive them, I know it no longer was a bother to me anymore. And
right.
I'll tell this. This just happened to me just what about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's a little warm here, and sometimes I'll drive by and I'll go sit by the pond and for a few minutes. And now I was having one of them days, man. Um, it seemed like everything was coming against you. And
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes we feel sorry for ourselves. When we go through them things. What do we do for this person to do this to us? You know, People don't really know you, then they, you know. But I was sitting there and just asking the Lord to forgive me for some things. And sometimes I think I get on his nerves, you know, because I'm so imperfect that I ask him all the time. But it
yeah,
was like
yeah.
all of a sudden this was so weird to me. It was like everything that had ever been done bad to me by every person was popping up in my face. It was almost like a reel or a movie right in front of my face. And
Oh
I'm sitting
wow,
there like, you know, I said, God, why is this happening? And I was like, because I have forgiven every one of those people. And he said,
right,
exactly. I've forgiven you for every single thing that you've done in your life. Quit bothering
right.
me with this nonsense. And I mean, that's what that's almost what way I felt. Quit, crying around. Quit. He's like, just go on and be happy. Because I've forgiven
Yeah,
all that, and you've forgiven all them people. You
I've
know.
had that happen to me before. It's weird,
Yeah.
ain't it?
Yeah, it is. I
I
mean,
was sitting, I was sitting in my house. I used to have a house about 20 minutes down the road. I remember I could still. I mean, it's crazy. I can remember this was like I can remember it like yesterday. This is probably 7 or 8 years ago. I was sitting there and I had two grudges. One against my ex brother in law because him and my sister divorced, and he treated my family really bad after that. Specifically, my mother, and my mother didn't do nothing but just try to help the situation. But and then somebody else, I won't mention that person. But I had two grudges against these people, right? And I remember just sitting there, and all of a sudden, it just popped up in my brain, and I heard these words. I heard a thought: forgive those two people. Let it go. Forgive it. Move on. Let it go. And I said, I mean, I probably shouldn't have done this, but I spoke to the Lord and I said, I'm ready to forgive one of them, not the other.
man,
And I did.
man,
I prayed and I
I
totally
get that.
forgave one of them. And then the other, I just kind of let it go and just forgot about it. And then later on, it brought it up to me 2 or 3 years later. He put it back on the table, and we went and visited that specific person, and it almost made the whole trip worthwhile because we had completely created this bond. And he brought it back on the table, put it in front of me, and I did then. It was hard though, man. Let me read some more comments if you don't mind.
No, no, I saw that D Libby's in here.
Oh, is she? No
Yeah,
way. Okay. Libby, we've been talking about you, dear. Let's
well,
see. It's not for them, it's for you. Yep, that's right. React, attack, learn to forgive and never forget. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to not. I don't hold it against people, but it is very important to distinguish what you need to do because of actions that have taken place. In business and stuff, I've had that happen. Yo, main girl said addiction. Yeah, that's a big one, man. We maybe we need to make the next episode about that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we all got things we're addicted to, you know?
Right.
I mean, I can't, I mean, I'm just being the truth, you know? It's tobacco and coffee, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been very blessed not to fall into that trap. I have a story. I have a story of that where God played like almost like you said, like a reel before your eyes
Right,
of where my life would go if I did this or this or this. And it was really weird. I was in the dentist chair. It was really weird. I could tell that story. It's crazy. So many good stories, man. Um, Praying for our enemies has to be from the Lord because that's completely against our nature. Yeah,
right.
that's a great point, Solitaire.
Yeah, it is.
Anybody who reads that verse, because I mean, us as humans, somebody wrongs you and you're like, man, I hope they suck. Man, I hope karma's going to get them. Karma and all this stuff. Karma's not in the Bible, but the
Right,
Bible does talk about, you know, the Lord will have his justice or whatever. But I
right,
mean, for us to wish that on somebody, like you said, that is one of the things in the Bible that's like an anomaly to me. Because even at the time the Bible was written, that wasn't normal. You know what I'm saying? You had
right,
all kinds of war. You had war, you had famine, you had slave. There was a lot of slavery during those days. And that's not normal. Human nature is, hey, I'm on top. I'm going to stay on top and I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I'm going to put this person down because back in those days, the Pharaohs, I'm royal, I'm loyalty. I'm this, I'm that. That's not human nature at all. That's one of the things about the Bible. The funny thing about the Bible is a lot of people, they say, you know, it was written, and there are certain cultural writings in there that are
right,
really hard to understand. But the funny thing is that most of the Bible in the New Testament about things that we need to do or we need to be or the blueprint for our life. The funny thing about the Bible is most of it goes against our own nature.
right.
Could you imagine writing writing the Bible and you're getting told the Bible from God and he's like, hey, write this part about forgiving your enemies. The writer had to have been like, what?
Right, right,
Well, my enemies, they're against me, so I'm going to be mad at them. I'm going to want revenge.
right.
And God's like, no, 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 no.
Revenge
Right,
is mine, you know?
right. Turn the other cheek and right, forgive your enemies because it's what I want you to become. That's what Jesus was. And the writer's like, okay, I guess. All right. Yeah,
Right.
it's not even in our nature to be like that. That's the crazy thing about it. But yeah, killing them with kindness. Well, as good as we can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the kindest, but I don't know, man. I turned into a softie in my later years. Y'all probably wouldn't want to know me in my younger
And,
years.
you know, yeah, that's the same thing. People think that you're a softy or that you're weak or you're, because you're kind to people, because you try to show positivity, that you're thin skinned and you're just a pushover. And man, that ain't true. You know, I mean, sometimes you have to stand your ground. And
Sure.
I've had to do it. You know, I didn't want to, but I've had to defend my family. I've had to
Oh
jump
yeah.
out of character and real bad. You know, I'm actually I man like I said, no one's perfect. You know, I don't claim to be. I'm not claiming to be anything. And we all go through that. You know, we have times where we're mad or we're upset about something because something has been done to us that we didn't even deserve. Or people
Right.
don't know you, so they judge you. Or I just had someone just recently say something about my sunglasses and my cowboy hat. Which and it was it was in a reaction to a band where the lead singer wears sunglasses all the time. So, and the thing about it is, I'm like, well, man, they don't know me. I mean, I
Yeah,
suffer really bad from lights, especially computer screens or any type of light. I've
sure.
sat in my own living room and watched a football game with sunglasses on, because my
Oh
eyes
man,
are so sensitive.
I've had some weird comments like that, but just randomly, like,
That's all right. Then people don't
yeah.
know you and they don't matter anyhow.
I had
You know,
so I have a thyroid condition, right? And it's hypothyroidism, and it's very so like I used to be like 150 pounds.
Same
I've
here. I
gained a
was
lot.
skinny. Things change as you get older.
Yeah, things change
Right.
as you get older. I actually have a thyroid condition. I don't even talk about it. I don't complain about it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's just what my body done or whatever. I don't know why, but I take a pill every day. You know what I'm saying? It is hard for me to lose weight from time to time. I don't lose weight like I used to. Used to I could just eat less and lose weight. Now, like I try to exercise and stuff, but a lot of people don't understand hypothyroidism. It's very hard for you to lose weight,
I
and it makes
understand
you
that. My
yeah,
mom went through that. My mother
yeah.
went through that thing. I
And
mean,
so I had somebody
you
jump
know,
on, and I don't even know where they found out from. I have no idea who this person was. It was one of those YouTube accounts that have like 2 subscribers and like they're just some random person.
it
They
says
jumped on
trolls and
my
bots.
they jumped on one of my videos and they said, how's your stupid thyroid fatty or so just like something." And I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'm like
Yeah.
that's to me that's so weird that somebody would keep up with that,
And this
and
is this is the thing about it is,
it just cracks me up really.
yeah, I've had it done to me. I've had people, leave comments, but then again, I've had some people say some of the most life changing, touching things to me,
Yeah,
and that's why I choose to focus on those. There was one
right,
person
right.
that left a comment. It was on my other channel. I actually pinned it. I pinned it and left it up there, and I didn't have to say anything. These people just like, hey man, why are you messing with this guy? You don't know his situation, but you're always going to find people like that, man. There's just a lot of people that are so, man, they're jealous. They don't,
Yeah.
they live miserable lives, so they just get on here.
And I mean, that person they could have lost a friend or they could have lost a parent or a relative and they were hurting or whatever. And it's like, man, I don't even pay attention to it half the time. I'm going to read some more comments, bud.
Go ahead.
Katie Duffy said, "Happy Sunday morning, y'all. Feeling blessed that my family was not affected here in Middle Tennessee by the tornadoes. Prayers to those who were." Yes, Katie, prayers to those who were.
Right.
Sorry, guys, I'm way behind on these. Me and Buckeye's been chopping it up. Yeah, the tornadoes, man. It was crazy. Like last night, they said there was multiple ones, and there's video. I have a video of somebody sent me of like a huge explosion, like 30,000 people without power, and just it's just terrible, man. Spread the good news of the gospel. Hey, try, man. I'm gonna try my best. I'm not professional. I
Yeah.
I, I don't have media experience, but I'm going
Right.
to. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I'm going to tell you what. There have been times in my life where I'm talking about in pain and I needed something. And I remember there's 2 times specifically where I opened up the Bible and I said, God, I need something now. I need something to show that it's not just some random book and it's alive and you're speaking to
Right.
me through it. And I don't recommend putting God on the spot and telling him to do something, ordering him
Right.
to do something. But I fully believe that if you need something and you're desperate and you pray, I fully believe that he will meet you. And I mean, I could read it. Psalms chapter 69. It's really crazy, but exactly what I was going through at the time. I immediately turned, like, I just opened the Bible and it was right there and I read it. And it was pretty much talking about enemies that were against you,
Right.
and you will be you will get retribution. I remember that, and I mean I could go through it and read it, and sometime I might do that, but I remember it was exactly what I was going through,
Right.
and I stopped right then and I was like, God's, I mean, peace, immediate peace.
And you know what gives
God's
me
got me.
is, yeah, it does gives you immediate peace from it. And I've heard people say, why should I read this? You know how many times, and I do realize how many times there's been things added to, taken away from the word. I mean, there's so many different translations, there's so many different religions, that it
Yeah,
confuses people. And that's what
sure.
I mean, then you find out it's so simple that you don't need none of this,
Right,
All
right.
you need is the Lord, and
Well,
and and
it was written by hundreds of people
yeah,
over
and
a
I didn't always
1,500 year period.
right, and I
And so,
didn't
like, imagine there being hundreds of people who have written one book, and then it started for 1,500 years ago. I
right.
mean, yeah, there's going to be some stuff that's off, but guess what? A lot of this goes together, and it's
It all
so
goes together.
incredibly, it's incredible because a lot of the Old Testament have prophesied a Messiah that's going to heal, that's going to save the world, and then in the
Right,
New Testament, probably 700 years later, like they directly connect with that. It's so amazing.
right.
It's almost unbelievable. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, but
It's amazing to me too that, I mean, growing up, not understanding everything,
yeah,
seeing people's actions contradict what the word says, you know, watching them live a different life while they were going to church and why they didn't. Man, I'm just going to be the same no matter where I go. I
yeah.
don't like putting on a disguise. I don't like putting on a suit and trying to be something that I'm not. You know, and
A lot of people,
yeah, I never
a
will
lot of
forget.
people let people down, man. A lot of people let people down, and so that's why it's very important. Don't look at me and say, "Hey, Southwind's perfect, man. Let's listen to what Southwind has to say."
Right.
No, no, no. Read.
Yeah.
Pray to God. Talk
And
to
then
God.
this is the thing
That's the one who's never going to let you
right.
down.
And one of the things that gets me too is if you pray for understanding, he will give it to you. I
Yeah,
mean, I didn't understand everything, and I'm not claiming that I do. I used to have I used to have a you know, I built this office. I had over gosh, well over 3, 4,000 books, on
wow,
different religions and stuff because I was confused. I was wanting to
sure.
know. But when he gives you the knowledge, man, I don't need any of those now. You
Oh
know?
man,
Man,
it can
he's
happen
all
in a
he's all
flash.
he's all we need, and
When he healed me, I didn't have to question which God or which
right,
Savior. I mean, I just knew. I had this image, and I just had this feeling, and I just had
right,
this deliverance in my. It was nuts. But all right, let's read. I'm getting so behind on these comments, guys. I promise I'm not ignoring you. Todd J said, "Can't change your yesterdays, but you can change your tomorrows
right,
and learn from your yesterdays to change your tomorrows. Can't change history, but we can use it. Yep, history in our own life and history in the world. Um, I wish I would have made better choices when I was younger, but we learn from the mistakes we made. Man, ain't that the truth?
that's the truth.
My goodness, ain't that
We
the
all
truth?
wish that. Whoever said that, we all wish that one. You know,
Yeah, yeah, we're all in the same boat. I've made plenty of choices where I could, look at it now and just be like, oh my goodness, I was so dumb.
right?
Dirty South Creeker said, good morning, peace and love, my brothers. Good morning, buddy. Hope
Good
you've been
morning
doing
to
well.
you.
And there's Libby. Libby, I'm sorry. Hope you're still watching. I'm sorry that we are just now getting to your comment. Um, I just want to say, sister, love you. I
Yeah,
was thinking about you last week.
we've been praying for
At,
you. Sorry of the
yeah,
loss of your sister.
yeah.
Um, I've had several
God
others reach
knows.
out to me, that has lost loved ones over the last several weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
I'm so
hearts just
sorry that things didn't go the way we were hoping, and just want to just say, God bless you, and there's we don't know, There's always things happen for a reason. We don't know, and I just hope that God wraps His arms around you, comforts your family. I'll say this: your sister's not suffering. She's not.
right.
God bless you. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. I look back at certain things I've done in the past and don't even know that person. Yeah, I've been there.
Right.
I've been there.
Yeah, we we
Let's
we
see.
all can relate to these things, I mean, all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
That's
why
why
we're
we're here,
here.
guys. We're here
That's why we're
because
here.
hey, If you don't go to church, this is a spiritual hospital for you.
Right.
Buckeye actually works in the hospital, so I'm not going to say that he can cure your spine,
No,
but he is a good dude, and he's warmed my heart, man. I'd say he's been a blessing to me, and I appreciate him so much. I'm gonna get him something nice for Christmas with that
no,
money y'all
man.
been sending.
No, you're not
Yep,
going to do
I'm gonna
that.
find your address or something. I'm gonna figure it out.
No, we're going to meet up. We're going to meet up on
Oh yeah,
March
yeah, yeah.
9th. You know,
That's right. That's right.
that's going to be a good time. I
Um,
can't wait for that.
Sasha's in here. D Libby, caffeine and nicotine for me. Yeah. Hey, if we're
Yeah,
gonna be addicted to something,
right.
Sasha said I'm going to Corbin. I'm gonna sing along with the rooster. Yep. Hey, here comes a rooster.
I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to make it to that. I know that I'm definitely going to the Nashville um, show. You know, just because some of y'all's going and one just and meet some of you. I mean, it's going to be great. You know, me and my son going to an up church concert, but you know,
Oh, dude,
thank y'all
I'm
for
so
showing so
excited.
much love to him. Also, you know, I mean, he goes through some stuff. I try to encourage him, but some of y'all really encouraged him and helped him. And from a father's heart, man, I appreciate that. I really do. Let's see. I'm trying to see some of these too. I usually have to wear my reading glasses because I can't. Yeah, I'm getting old eyes, guys. You know, I mean, but man, we really appreciate you guys being here. That's for sure. And thankful, you know, that Southwind wanted to do this. You know, like I said, we're not ashamed of nothing. Not ashamed of our faith, and not ashamed to tell people that we love them.
Sorry,
And
buddy. I
no, you're
I had to
good.
take a bathroom. I had to take a bathroom break. I ain't gonna lie to you. That coffee
Now
got me.
I'm gonna have to, man. I've much coffee as I drink now. I got water.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna be
But yeah,
floating.
we're excited to be here, man. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't been to church in it's probably been a few months. I just have been sick and just doing. I had to work a few Sundays and all this stuff. And when Buckeye said, "Hey, we should do this," I'm like, "Dude, I'm all in. That's my thing, man." Total
Yeah,
credit. Buckeye gets total credit for this.
nah,
It's
man. I don't want no credit for nothing. And the thing of it is, we didn't even try to like, you know, I tried to think of like a topic, you know, but then I started realizing we don't really need one. Um, you can kind of get a sense for the way things are going, and it seems like everything that we talked about is just fit right in line with what we've went through this
oh,
week,
dude,
and you know,
yeah.
I mean, and what others has went through, you know, losing family members. Um,
What's
you know,
crazy is
yeah,
as soon as you got on here, you started talking about, um, these things happening and why we're blaming God instead of blaming the wicked one who's kind of in charge of the cursed world sometimes. Whenever you start talking about that, I was like, dude, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. We didn't talk about this
no,
beforehand.
no,
Yeah,
we didn't.
that's exactly what I was going to talk about because D. Libby had a circumstance in her life that she lost her sister, and then the tornadoes hit. 6 people died right down the road in Middle Tennessee, and then Daniel. I had no idea Dan the Man was going to be on here. He lost his wife a few years ago, and he struggled with that for a while, and I had no idea he was even going to be on here.
Right.
And so, man, it's amazing how
Sometimes
things happen.
you got to get yourself out of the way and just let the spirit guide you. You know.
Somebody has given $5, and I want to say thank you very much. However, this is not about money, but
Right.
thank you. God bless you. And hey, anybody who's ever donated, maybe we'll get some shirts made at some point and throw y'all a shirt. Who knows? Kelly said, "Hey, Drew. Hey, Buckeye. Hello, chat. What's
All
up,
right,
Kelly?
Kelly.
Hope you've been doing good." She's a friend of mine, lives down the road.
Yeah, we just started following each other on Instagram, and thank you all for that. And like I said, I try to post stuff that's inspiring to people. I love music. I love, man, I got a sense of humor, and just want to help somebody. That's it. I mean, some people can take you the wrong way because they don't know you, but man, thank you all for all your love and support and everything that
Yeah.
you've shown both of us. It's much appreciated. Something money can't buy.
Libby said, I think Buckeye said it earlier. I too think we need to forgive. We don't have to necessarily forget, but yep,
No, you
big
know what?
topic right there.
There's something that you there is no forgiving and forgetting. But there's one thing that I did read, and I've got it. Man, I've got like these little quotes I've got at work because that's where I'm at. I try to read those. I try to see them. But it says, even though that you can't forgive and forget, then forgive every time that you remember. And man, that is so. I mean,
Yeah,
just because you forgive somebody, it ain't over. I mean, every time it comes to mind, it's like, man, I didn't forgive that.
right,
Sometimes
right, right.
it's repetitive, you know, and it becomes easy. When it becomes
No,
easy to you, that's when you know that you're on a higher level
that's
than
powerful,
a
man.
lot of people. I mean, for real. I mean, it's
That's
some of the most
powerful. Uh,
worst, vile things that's ever happened to a person. You know,
yeah, that's powerful because it's almost like when you think about it, you remember the power that it used to have over you and how it used to affect you and make you feel and change you into this person who was mad or upset. And now, guess what? When you think about it, now it's like I have power over it. I don't let it get me down. I don't let it affect my
right?
day. You have the power over it. Alan Carter gave $5. Man, come on, man.
Hey,
Appreciate y'all.
I can't wait to meet up with Alan. Man, what's
The
he's such a
deer. The deer
yeah,
is in here. Mike 12 points
the
in here. The
deer.
deer.
Howdy, Mike. Love you, brother.
Sorry, go ahead. What was you saying about Alan?
We were just talking about meeting up and for the show we're going to. Man, he hit me up and said, man, you and your son got a place to stay. They renting a cabin, and man, it's just going to be a fun time. It really is, and getting to meet some of y'all that's meant so much to me. You know,
Oh, dude, I'm pumped. I'm so excited about it.
yeah, me too. I'm just
I
glad
might holler at man.
my son
I
gets
might
to
holler
come.
at church sometime. I don't want to bother him, but I don't want to ask him for anything. But if
Right.
I could go backstage and film or something, that would be so cool. But I
I'm the
don't know. I
same
don't want
way,
to bother
man.
the guy.
I don't
I
like to
bought a
bother.
ticket. I bought a
I don't.
ticket just like everybody else. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm excited just to be there. You know.
me too. I don't like to bother anybody, and some people can probably think, because you like their stuff or share it, or some people don't know what you're about, and that's why I like doing these lives because people can actually get to know you better, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Absolutely.
right.
Mike 12 point. Ladies, I'm already blushing. Hey, Mike. This ain't no date. This ain't no dating service, but I mean, hey, it's all good. If you're gonna meet a lady, maybe it'll be in here. I mean, whatever.
I
Mike,
got
hey,
I I
ladies,
got
fear the deer. Fear the deer, ladies.
yeah.
Fear
You
the
can
deer.
fear the deer that's behind me. You see him?
Oh yeah, I just noticed that, bro.
Yeah,
Nice, nice,
I
nice.
like to. I got him dressed up. He's got a.
Mike,
He's got a
Mike, you got your cousin on the wall.
man.
Watch out, fear.
Out here where we live. I'm not kidding, man. It's like there are so many deer running around. I don't know how many deer over, in my time, but with the truck I've got, I've hit two deer in it. A buzzard, the buzzard did some damage, and me and my son was just talking about it. I went and picked him up from work, and I said, "Man, I hate coming down this road because I see so many deer." And as soon as we popped this hill, there was a car in the middle of the road that just hit one. You know,
Oh man,
but they are so
yeah,
bad around here, man. There's certain
they're
roads,
everywhere, man. They're everywhere this year. I hit
right?
one. I hit one. Took a truck out. Took a whole front grill. They finally totaled the truck.
Yeah,
The guy.
I was driving a trash truck, and hit a deer, and man, there was no hope for that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised it didn't damage my truck as bad. I kept the grill. I don't know why I did. It was busted all up, but it was
Mm.
still in one piece. I kept it just to
Hey,
have it.
you know what? It would be kind of cool to hang it in the background, like in the
Yeah,
almost.
hanging back there where the deer is. I tell him, I tell him that Buckeyes or that deer's name's Buckeye. We just call him Buck for short.
Fear the deer. They've taken out a couple of my vehicles. Yo Main Girl said, I look forward to this dose of positivity every Sunday. Okay, hey,
Yeah, we look forward
hey,
to it
we're
too.
we're just trying to relate. We are all in this together.
Especially this time of year when it gets cold and me and my son aren't out fishing. We might have to change the schedule in the summer or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, man. We don't have to do it every Sunday. We might take a Sunday off every now and then, but
right.
um, I mean, hey, it's been we ain't found nothing to we haven't ran out of things to talk about yet. It's been fun. I'm gonna drop a song. I just finished a music video for Nate. You guys check out Nate.
Oh,
Nate.
I can't wait for that. I told him I said I can't wait for it.
Oh man, we went to the house that he basically grew up in, his grandpa's house, and we filmed in East Tennessee. We filmed all this stuff, the old schools he went to. It was really cool, man. It's for him and him and Dale. And Dale messaged me last night too. He asked me if I was okay, and I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm good." And I said, "How'd you like the video?" He's like, "Dude, I love it." And it's like a blast from the past for them. You know what I'm saying? Pictures. We pulled out the pictures, and it's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
I can't wait to see that.
And
You
I
know,
have that
there's
song.
some of these young guys. They just have so much talent, and
Yeah,
I mean, it's. I'm always amazed by people's talents, and like I said, especially when they're rapping, because man, I can't talk that fast even when I'm mad. So I just have a lot of respect, and stuff for people's talent, and
oh yeah,
you
man,
know,
absolutely.
even the
Nate's
work.
Nate's Nate's the pro dude. The first time he sent me a song, I was like, I mean, you expect things when you see somebody you expect. I mean, they might be all right, but then just like the React Attack guy, dude, I saw one of his songs he was working on, and first of all, I was like, oh wow, I didn't know you did music. Second of all, I was like, dude, you have a good voice. Like, I didn't
Yeah,
even know about that guy.
right. I
But
didn't either. I
Yeah,
mean,
Nate showed me some stuff, man, where he was rapping. I was just like, dude, this is nuts, And I
hey,
don't know, man.
there's another one, brother. Just Trey. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
young man. I mean, just got so much talent. Like I said, I couldn't do it, so I got respect for people that in their talents. They're whether they can play an instrument or they can sing or they can rap or you know, or just showing love. Showing love is a talent.
yeah.
Being kind is a talent to
We
me.
all have special things that we're good at. You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
you know,
The good word talks about people's talents too. You might not have them same talents, but at least who knows? We've got some things are hidden in us that we don't even know about.
Daniel said, Jaeger Dan said, I went to the Upchurch concert and signed the Lambo. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's awesome. What makes church think of things like that, bro? That's so cool. I remember seeing the Lambo with all the signatures on it.
I,
That's
I think it's just because people think of success, they think of having a Lamborghini or something, and he's just like, who cares? I'm gonna let all my fans sign this sucker. You know,
Yeah, that was really cool. I remember
man,
when
I
he did
thought that
that.
was cool too. I didn't get to be there, but I saw that and saw some of the live videos and the content people's put out about that. And
When I did the interview, man, I was over at his house and I saw it. I took a picture of the Lambo and I was like, you don't mind if I take a picture? It was so cool just to see all those signatures and yeah, it was neat, man. It's
right,
just to be a part and be around and see things, just to support somebody who is just
right.
has that effect on people is it's awesome, man.
And you just have so much respect for them, for the things that they
Kelly
do.
Osborne said, "I love Buckeye.
Thank you,
Buck
Kelly.
Buckeye's got a heart
We all
bigger
love
than
you
that
too.
bigger than that 10-point buck on the wall behind you, man. He's a good dude." And then Daniel Howe sent $5 to help grow your channel, bro. You ain't got to do that, man. We're here. We are here for each other, and I appreciate it, guys. And you don't worry about the money. Pay it forward. Buy somebody something to eat. Thank you. I'm super grateful, but go buy somebody something to eat who's on the side of the road if you want to do that with your money. But thank you so much. He said it's been great listening to you guys. Hey man, we're blabbermouths, but we're
Hey,
trying to be good blabbermouths.
we're glad someone wants to be in here and listen to us.
Right, right,
Like I
right.
said, we just you just see it's needed. There's so much bad that's out there, and people just hating on each other, just constantly back and forth. It's just pointless bickering, and man, you hate to see it. You really do, because it's harmful, and there's been people truly affected by it. You know, hurt over it. And I just
Yeah.
seen that, like I said, I seen a story just a few weeks ago where somebody was bullied online to where they took their own life. And or there was another one where there was, because of the feud that these people had online, that someone actually got shot and killed. And it's just, and it's like, man, is this really worth it?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
really worth it, man? I mean, we
yeah.
want to bring the part to where where we're talking about this, where someone's life can be touched.
Yeah.
It was amazing to me that someone reached out and said, "Man, I prayed for the first time in 15 years." And man, just because you pray don't mean you got to be perfect. You know,
No.
I mean, I get ridiculed all the time, or someone says stuff. I had one guy, I like this dude. Now, like I said, I'm not, hold anything against him, but when he's right at the back door most, when I walk out from work, and I haven't cut my hair since my mom passed away, and there's a reason for that. My wife ain't used to seeing me with long hair, but for the
Yeah.
first time since we've been married, my hair is longer than hers.
Oh wow.
But man, I was walking out the door, and he wears this, scripture by his badge, and I was walking out one day. He's like, "Man, when you go get your hair cut?" And I was like, "Why? Jesus had long hair." He's like, "Yeah, but they didn't have barber shops back then." I was like, "Well, they had stones. Quit throwing them." And that's all I said. And I just kept walking, man, like it was nothing. It just came
Nah.
out. And
People who are
he
people who are
apologized to
that
me.
involved in other people's lives is kind of weird to me anyway. You
Yeah,
know.
he apologized. I said, "Man, it's all good, man." I was like, "I
Right.
wouldn't, I just don't believe in throwing rocks at people." You know,
Yeah.
I love that story in the Bible too, where they were wanting to stone a woman to death, and you know,
Oh yeah.
that Moses in the law said that this woman should be stoned to death. What do you think? You know,
Right.
he just stooped down, just drew a line in the sand, and it didn't really say what he said, but he just began to write in the sand, and one by one they walked away. I think he's writing out their sins. You know. Then he
Yeah.
asked the woman. He said, "Woman, where are thine accusers?" She looked around, and it's all gone. You know. Yeah.
They who've never sinned can cast the first stone. I think that's part of where that comes from.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's
then
that's
it's like,
the whole story. You know.
right. It's like, and there's plenty of verses where, hey, if you're judging your brother, pull the plank. It talks about if you see there's a speck in your brother's eye, pull the plank out of your eye first,
Right.
and then you can talk to your brother. If you're whenever you become perfect, then you can judge your brother. But yeah,
Right.
if we judge ourselves, praying, talking about yourself, trying to get your own life right, that's the best thing you can do, man.
Right.
Um, and not being perfect, but what I'm saying is
Work out your
finding
own salvation,
direction.
not everybody else's. You know.
Right. Um, Money change people. We don't need money to change the world. We can change the world without money. Hey man, money can only do so much.
Right.
Money can only do so much. It's a wonderful tool, but a lot of people they're ruined by it. Um, it actually it's funny because a lot of times I've seen several people say this. Maybe like Jim Carrey is one of it, but he said something one time like I wish everybody would get rich and famous so they can see that that's not the cure to life. That's not the answer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not. It's not. I mean, I've had $30,000, $40,000 in the bank. I've had $5 in the bank, and it's like whenever I had all that money in the bank, did I feel like I never had any problems? No, I probably had more problems during that time of my life. It's just money is one of those things it's nice. You can do good things with it. You can help people, but if that is what is if that's how deep you are, then that's you're only good if you have money. Well, there's going to be a time in your life where you have no money at some
Right.
point, probably. And if that's what you're made of, you can't take it with you. First of all,
Yeah, and then, man, I have a coworker. I love that guy. I really do. But it seems like that's all he talks about is how much someone makes, where they live, what they drive, and it seems like he's just so
yeah,
materialistic and money, driven. Um, and I try to tell him. I said, man, you ever seen a hearse fall in a U-Haul, or you look at some of these people that have money. I mean, they're not happy. Money don't buy happiness. It really don't. I do like the song where it talks about, but it can buy me a boat.
oh yeah, yeah.
but
I love that dude,
uh,
Chris Jansen. I saw
yeah,
something about him last night. He's actually a good dude.
yeah, I've actually got a Chris Jansen Bass Pro Shop hat somewhere around here. Yeah,
Oh, do you?
I
Yeah,
like, yeah. Um, not everybody in mainstream is bad people, but mainstream is just terrible itself. You
right.
know,
Yeah. Well,
but
there's people who and I'm going to make a video about this. Church has been putting videos online about on his Instagram about Jimmy Martin, the
yeah, I
famous
saw that. A lot of people
famous
don't know who
bluegrass
Jimmy
player.
Martin is, or some of these. That
Right,
man, they've all experienced that type of stuff. I mean,
right.
you
And
know,
there's the Kentucky Headhunters, the guy that I interviewed. Yes, I was posting on the fact that they actually won a Grammy at one point, but his story after they won that Grammy is so crazy because, and if you didn't watch the interview, it's a long interview, but I'm going to make a video about a lot of this Jimmy Martin and about because I've known about Jimmy Martin for a long time, and I think it's really cool that Church has started to talk about the struggles he went through, and he's like, guys, this is one reason why I don't have nothing
right,
to do with the mainstream because of stuff like this has happened. And I think he's 100% right. Now, all mainstream labels aren't like this, or all mainstream record deals aren't like this necessarily, but it's a lot of it's about control or whatever, and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of it's about it's a buddy system and it's politics and it's
it
whatever.
is, man. It's
And
been going on for a long time.
oh
I
yeah,
actually,
long
I
time.
actually posted a video. It was when Waylon Jennings actually, got an award, and it was so, those were different times too.
Yeah,
But that stuff has been going on for a long time. And
it
they,
has.
I forget that's who did they bring out, and things were different. I mean, people were classier. I think it was Tammy Wynette and oh goodness, who was the other one that they brought out to present the award, and
I think I
you
saw
could,
that. Yeah,
yeah, you could tell Waylon didn't even want to be there. And he
yeah.
walked up and he said, "I was told to be nice. I don't know what that meant." Because
But
they were talking about him being the country music underground at that
he was
time.
an outlaw. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And
Well,
you know,
Johnny went through the same thing. A lot of
yeah, a
people
lot
don't
of
know
them have.
Johnny Cash went
Yep.
through the same thing.
Right.
And in the interview with my buddy from the Kentucky Headhunters, he said when they won their awards and whenever they did all this stuff, he said the only reason why is because the industry hated them. They wanted
Right.
them out because they wasn't playing the game. And then what had happened was is the people they were started the people started buying the albums, and so the industry kind of said, "Hey, we almost have to give them an award," but they wouldn't even play them on the radio for a while. They didn't
Right.
even want anything to do with them. Johnny Cash. The crazy thing is, and I'm going to post a video of talking about Jimmy Martin and then the Kentucky Headhunters and all this stuff. I'm going to post a video. He said that Johnny Cash was one of their personal friends, and like he wrote them a letter, and he said, "Guys, much, you know." I love you guys and I love what you're doing. And he said, pretty soon this is going to start happening. They're going to start throwing arrows at you guys because y'all aren't playing the game that they're wanting to play. You're not
Right.
letting them do what they want to do, and and have their hands in your pockets. And I found Upchurch's video about Jimmy Martin super interesting, and I'm going to post something about it in the next couple of days. Let me real quick. Let me see here. Daniel Howe said Ryan's music. Hold on just a second. Let me plug up my phone. It's about to die, I think. Um, Daniel Howe said Ryan's music led me to meeting just in time and my Redneck Rave family. Oh yeah, dude. Church's music has helped out, and it has united so many people, man.
Right.
It's incredible. It's
Millions,
incredible.
millions of people, and touch millions of people's lives, and and it has changed. I mean, hey, it's changed my life. Ever
Yeah.
since my son played me the first song, that's when things started to change. And reacting to his music, I didn't think it'd bring so many people into my life now that
Oh,
I call my brothers and my sisters. That
oh,
is
dude.
has been so tremendous, man. And you find
Yeah.
out that there's so many people out there that is like us. Um, it's amazing. And it should be family. We shouldn't be trying to rip each other apart or being jealous of each other or trying to compete with one another. I've never been about that. You know, that's why I'm here. I could have done a lot of things on my own channel. I could really care less about that channel. I really don't. I'm going to try to put some reactions and stuff out there, but man, I don't try to take away or from anybody
Right.
else. I just try to show support to my brothers. I'm happy for them. I'm
Oh
happy
man.
that their channels are growing and good things
Well,
are
I
happening
mean,
to them. You know,
me and you, bro, we wouldn't probably know each other if it wasn't for
no,
church's. We
we,
wouldn't be sitting here doing this if it
we
wasn't for
wouldn't.
church's music,
We
probably.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, and
Hey
it's
Trey, sorry,
it's
sorry
amazing.
Trey. I totally Trey. I've been scrolling down the comments, bro. Sorry,
Right.
I'm glad you're still here, man.
I
I wouldn't
still
know
think
who
about
just
him.
Trey is.
Yeah, concert for the corn. I loved it when he dropped that video. I told him, I said, man, you just literally just went out in the middle of a cornfield, turned your truck into a studio, and had a concert for the corn. And
Concert for the corn. Hey, guess what, Trey? Corn has ears, man. Corn was listening.
yeah, corn
Ears
has
of corn.
ears. It was listening. There you go. I love that, man. We have
Trey's a
so
good
much
dude.
fun.
Hey, he's a. I hope to meet him one day, man. That would be great.
I think, yeah,
Solitaire 427 said Ryan's music led me here.
right.
Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
every single one of us are here because of it, honestly.
Yeah, it's really it's so. I've never seen so like you have a lot of people who uh these big stars. They throw these shows in these stadiums, but I've never seen like a unity like Creek Squad. It's really cool, man.
No. And a
There's a
lot of them
camaraderie.
they could care less about their fans. And don't get me wrong. I'm still fans of a lot of different music, but um, man, I could go out and I could I'm not going to throw any names, but I could go out there and comment on someone's stuff, and they wouldn't even respond back. You know what I mean?
Right.
They could care less about little old me because I have nothing to offer them. You know,
Yeah.
but I feel like he's just not that way, man. But of course he's got a busy life. He can't see everything. I imagine he gets bombarded all day long by people. You
Oh
know,
man.
and
Oh yeah.
even if he lived next door to me, I wouldn't go just knocking on his door. I'd probably hit him up first. Hey man, are you home? Or you know, I've done that with my own mother. You just don't show up at people's house and just be.
No.
Some people are just
Well,
weird, man.
there's been like several people who
Feel good drawing a
um
picture of someone's face.
there
Sorry,
no, you're good.
we're
There's
trying
been
to be positive here.
several people who said to me, hey man, up to he talked to me at one point, but then I haven't heard nothing from him. I haven't, whenever I have his number or I have it, I message him and I mean it's just I don't take it personally. There's been times he's messaged me back a lot of times that I've texted him or something. I mean, I haven't texted him a whole lot. Just every now and then, if I see video or a song, I'm like, "Yo, bro, I love that. I love that video you put out or whatever." Um, he'll text me back, or sometimes he won't.
Right.
But I mean, I don't take it you can't take it personally, man.
No, no,
This
not at all.
dude ain't no telling who this guy even has in his phone on his, it just text messages. I mean, probably last night, ain't no telling. You remember how he said, "I'm just now seeing my text messages." Ain't no telling. Probably like 100 people probably messaged him, and they said, "Hey, bro, I hope you're doing okay. I know the tornadoes
Right.
hit." I mean, you can't look at it like that. It's not personal. Um, and I mean, I don't know, man. I don't even think about it. I was super blessed to get the opportunity that I had, and I never dreamt that I would ever have that kind of opportunity to go over and to interview, and that he trusted me enough to give me his phone number and invite me over, and I've been over several times, and
Yeah.
I just
I remember when that happened too.
oh
I
man,
was just so happy for you, because
I couldn't
I was
believe
like,
it, man.
Here's a real dude that don't want nothing from somebody, you know, that is a genuine person that deserves this. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, um, that's the way
I
I
mean,
felt
I
too, man. I
appreciate it.
mean,
I'm no better than anybody else, man. But I'm glad that he saw something in me, and I really tried to bring a good interview. Cardiac Kid is in here, man. Guys,
cardiac,
y'all go
cardiac.
check him out. He has some crazy, like he's interviewed some people too, man. I didn't even realize they had just brought me on a couple times. Buckeye, you had them invite me on week ago or whatever, and
Yeah.
I checked out Cardiac Kid's channel. I was like, dude, he has some great
What you start realizing that there's so many
content.
people that just they show you love just because and
Yeah,
let's be honest with you, they love you. They don't expect you to go out. Then you go out and you find out that they've got a channel that they make music, that
right.
they do reactions, or you've encouraged them to do it. You've encouraged them, hey man, I mean, I've got one of my personal best friends. We fished together for years, but I didn't know that he sang. And he's like, man, I don't know. He's like, I don't, said this, that, and the other about it, about, you know, what it was is he's humble, you know. And I remember the first time I was like, dude, this is you. I was blown away, man. And since then, he's been in several different bands as their lead vocalist, and they've made I don't know how many, CDs in the studio. And you don't
Mhm.
never know what your word of encouragement can mean to somebody. You know, give them that encouragement to do it, no matter what they're doing. You know, I mean, whether they're painting a picture, or they're or they're singing, or maybe it might be, everybody has different talents, and
Absolutely.
we should encourage each other, not discourage each other.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
100%, man. And I mean, and that's the funny thing is, if there's a ship, a lot of people they whenever something good happens to somebody else, a lot of people they get salty about it because they're like, man, why couldn't that be me? But it's like,
right?
hey, man, I've always, if something
Or-
good happens to somebody and they're for the good, I always try to make buddies with those people, man.
right.
Hey,
And
if somebody has a ship, if I have a ship and you guys want to come show love, you're more than welcome to jump on it. Let's
hey,
ride together.
there's some people that they'll sit there and say that they want to see people succeed, but then in reality, they're jealous of that when someone does.
Yeah,
I've never been that way. I love it when I see someone, you know, put out new stuff, or just get a promotion at work, or maybe get a new vehicle that they've been needing. Or there's
sure.
some people that get jealous about that. Man, I'm glad that my heart don't and my mind don't work that way. I'm
Right.
sometimes you have to stop and be thankful for who you really are,
Oh,
you
dude,
know?
it got weird, man. It get like nothing crazy happened to me, but just the fact that I was able to do what I would do, and there was, I mean, almost everybody was really awesome about it, but there was a couple people who they wouldn't even hardly talk to me, and it's like really weird
Right,
because it's like, man,
Well,
You
that's
push
when
for
you
something.
that's when you show then that's when you find out what people's character's about.
Right.
They're all for you until something like that happens and they get jealous or I don't know, man. It's weird, man. I don't understand people like that. But
Right.
I can't honestly say, man, I've had to be honest with I have had it happen to me, you know, where people I mean, you think that they're rooting for you, but then you find out they're not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just don't associate myself too much with those type of people.
Yeah.
Jealous,
I mean,
spirited, hate, or just full of hatred, envy, jealousy,
yeah.
and malice. I mean, it said that there would be people like that in the last days. It's full of all kinds of manner of evil,
Well, I
you
mean,
know?
we all want to be successful in life, and we all want to have those opportunities. But I mean, to be honest with you guys, I didn't have control of it. It wasn't like it was from me. It was from God.
Right.
Up church, and God. I mean, really. And I've told up church probably thinks I'm weird because there's been several times where I talked to him and I'm like, I don't bring it up a lot, but I just told him we
Me.
was at his house one night, and I told him I was like, bro, I was like, thank you for everything. And he probably thinks it's weird because I think him a lot, but I mean, it's like, no, man. I mean, it's not
It's
that
just
it's
you showing your appreciation.
right. That's
I
what it
mean,
is, and that's
you
where it
know how
comes
many
from.
of
And
us would just like to just personally thank him. I mean,
right,
or have a
the
platform to do that. It's
crazy
not
thing
that you're
about
trying to kiss
church,
someone's rear end or something, or you're
yeah,
idolizing a person. It's just, man, you're
yeah,
just wanting to show appreciation to them,
yeah,
or
exactly. That's what it
you
is. And
know,
I was just raised from um, the time I was little to just be very try to be humble and try to be appreciative, of something. And it wasn't like, that I was gifted $1 million or I was, all this stuff. But I mean, I'm very appreciative for what, he had done. And I mean, the funny thing about him is, man, this shows you where his mind's at. I told him one time, and I went to the redneck rave right after, like, probably about a month after I think the rave uh, was it was in May or something. I released the interview in April, and there
right,
was people who recognized me or whatever, and it was really neat to me because I never had that happen. It was kind of weird, but there was a bunch of people who came up to me and, hey man, you're the dude that interviewed Up Church, yada yada yada, and I was like, yeah, yeah, nice to meet you or whatever. And the funny thing is I talked to him, like I said, whenever Leroy's debacle went down, and I told him what had happened, and he said, I said, man, I said, just want to thank you. There's been people recognize me, and it feels good, and it's
right,
really neat. It's never happened to me. And he said, "Oh, bro, I don't care about that." He's like, I don't even think about it or whatever. He don't even at his level and who he is, and all the people. He don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? To him, it's just. He said, "I said, well, man, I hate to talk to you under these circumstances and tell you." And I was like, "But I was the only person that they told me to reach out to you, about Leroy or whatever." And he said, "Nah, man, you're just being a good friend or whatever." And see, that's the thing. He doesn't think about people in his life. He doesn't think about, oh, is this a good business decision? Is this a good decision? Does Southwind have thousands of subscribers that's going to
right,
benefit me? Does he
right.
have
Yeah,
some
he's
kind
not
of
like that. I mean,
yeah? He doesn't care.
yeah,
If I had 50 subscribers, he wouldn't care. It's
I
to
never
him.
will
It's
forget.
about surrounding himself with good people. You
Right,
know.
and it doesn't matter to him. I never will forget. All of a sudden I started getting more subscribers. And I was like, what in the world's going on? And someone said something about, he posted to his community page about my channel. And I was like, oh, that's why. I mean, I didn't even
Right.
think he'd ever see my stuff. And, I just never will forget that, because who am I? You know what I mean? I was just someone that was showing my appreciation and love for his music, for
Right. Right.
the song,
Exactly, man.
reacting to it. And I still listen to them songs just every day. I mean, yeah, I'm still on. Hey, I'm gonna have to get off here though. I
Tell
forgot
her I
what
said,
time it
hey.
was.
Yeah,
That's
man.
my grandson just got here, so he's wanting to see me.
There you go.
We're gonna
Hey,
probably
go
play.
spend some time. Go spend some time with him, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Buckeye, we love
Yeah,
you.
he comes in seeing my trucks. I ain't even been watching this ball game either. I don't know. The Bengals are playing. Who
Buckeye,
are they playing? Who cares?
Buckeye, we love you. We love you,
Yeah, I
bro.
love you guys for real.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
release a song soon, so maybe we can go live next week. And I'm gonna uh I'm gonna hijack the live for 5 minutes and tell people to subscribe and listen
Here,
to my song. Other than that, man,
here, come and say
it's
hi to Bubba.
hey, what's
Say
up,
hi,
buddy?
Bubba. See? Yeah. See?
Hey,
There he is.
how you
Say
doing,
hi,
buddy?
Southwind. He's coming to. He's coming to see me.
Is that your gramps? Is that your
Yep.
grandpa? What you call him, Papa?
He loves Papaw.
Papa, yeah.
He wants to get into all my stuff that's in here.
You gonna wear a cowboy hat one day like Papa?
Yep. He sure is.
There you go.
All right, brother. I'll let y'all go. And man, it just seemed like 2 hours went by quick.
Dude, I looked up and yeah, it's quarter after 2 hours. Hey man, we love you. Take care. We'll see you
Man,
next Sunday or whenever you're able.
yeah, I appreciate y'all. I want to be in there. Try to catch you guys later on React Attacks channel. And glad you guys were able to hook up because you guys are amazing people. And
That's you, man. That's all you. I appreciate you, man.
man, I love y'all for real. And that's why we wanted to start doing this, because
Yeah,
you just see so much bad things going on, and especially when people try to drag Creek Squad through the mud and try to act like we're a bunch of crackheads, and
right.
it's just a couple people. But if we'd all ignore those people, they would just go away. I mean, it's like spraying some Raid on a wasp nest. On a wasp. Just, hey man, just get out of here. We ain't
No
got time
crack
for
in
that.
here. Just a
Right,
virgin screwdriver. Virgin screwdriver. Just orange juice today.
right. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee and water. I rarely even have a drink. You know what I mean?
It's about as
But
strong as I get. Coffee.
right.
Oh man. Hey brother, we love you.
Hey, I
Love you
love
so
you,
much.
man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate every one of you in the chat and every one of you that showed so much love to Drew and to me. And
Yeah.
I'm just going around everywhere, just spreading love and positivity to people. And
Guys,
I, I appreciate it.
people have been affected by this already in a good way. Somebody messaged Buckeye. He mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to end with this. Somebody messaged Buckeye and said that they decided to speak to the Lord and start talking and give their heart back to Him and start communicating again.
Right.
That's to me, it's all been worth it. The
No,
time,
yeah, I mean,
man,
at the first time, he said the first time in 15 years. And like I said,
man.
he was watching our live. So you never know who's watching you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
People want to base things off, well, I've got 15,000 subscribers or something. No, there's more than that that's watching you. Upchurch has more than just 3.5 million on YouTube. I mean, there's
Sure.
millions of people worldwide that watch, listen, and all. You never know what your words can do to somebody, and how you can help somebody, and that's
That's
what we're
right.
about. And that's why we even started doing this, and it
That's
wasn't
right.
for any other reason, for not clicks, views, money, anything. You know, just to let them know that, hey, there's people that get up every day, go out and bust their ass. They work. They they
Right.
they work for their families. They love their friends. They love Creek Squad. They love all of each other. And try to show positivity.
What it's about.
There's more of us out there that's like that than there are just the handfuls that like to cause trouble. And
Cardiac Kid.
yeah,
Cardiac Kid said HB for life. Alan Carter said HB for life. So true. Just Trey said, love y'all. Take it easy. Hey guys, love you so
man,
much. I don't get tattoos. About one other tattoo Bible inscription. And this is my tattoo.
yeah.
Had a while back. I guess y'all have seen it. Hold on, I'm messing up here.
I
It says
tattooed my
holler boy.
truck.
It says yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I don't have many tattoos. If it wasn't important, I ain't gonna get it tattooed on me.
Right.
Holler Boys 615 chapter. And that's a picture of the um hatchet that he gave me as well. It's a it's it's one of those things, man, that I felt, and I even messaged him. I was like, "Hey, man, uh, this may be weird." I said, "But I want to get Holler Boys tattooed on me." I said, "I feel, I feel that strongly about the camaraderie, man. You know,
Right,
I don't get tattoos often, and I'm going to do a Tennessee sleeve, I think, but this is the main. This is one of the main pieces right here, man. This to me, this Holler Boys thing to me, it means way more than just a song. It's way more to me than just a cool lyric or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Upchurch knows what it means. That's why he's put it out there. He got it tattooed, on his face. He knows what it means. We know,
right,
and the ones who care about each other, the
right.
brothers, the sisters, we know what it means. Holler boys, holler girls.
Yes, sir.
Upchurch is my number one artist. Johnny Cash is probably my number two. And you know what I'm saying? And guys, I appreciate y'all being here. 20 of y'all in here right now. And if nothing else, just remember this: be your brother's keeper, reach out to each other, love
Right.
one another. That's the biggest commandment besides loving the Lord is loving your neighbor. I feel
Yeah,
like we're neighbors.
it's true, and like I've said, man, if you need anything, reach out
Yeah.
to me, send me a message. I've always kept things private with people. That's why
Thank you, Misty.
honestly, man, I've prided myself in that, praying for my friends, my family, and anybody that reaches out to me. You're loved. Don't forget that. There's people that care about you, and man, I hope to see y'all next Sunday. Hope y'all have a blessed week, and hope my Bengals win. With that, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get probably end up playing some cars and trucks with my grandson.
There
So,
you go. Go get some family time. Love you, brother.
all right, appreciate you, man. Catch y'all
Holler
later.
at holler holler.
Sure will. Same here. You need anything? You got my number.
I need everything, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'll holler
You
at
know,
you.
can't wait to meet you guys December 9th.
Oh, we're
For
gonna have
sure.
fun in Nashville,
Or
man.
December, I mean March 9th, December. That's
It's
already
gonna get rowdy, man. It's gonna get rowdy.
right. Catch y'all later.
Love you guys. Ah, ain't that good? Don't that just feel like warm cocoa in your belly? Ain't don't that just warm your heart? Oh man. Well, guys, I guess I'm going to get off here as well. I'm gonna be on React Attack channel later. Kelly Osborne, thank you for being in here still. What I'm gonna do, thank you, Carter, man. Thank you for the money, dude. Gosh, I I could never ask for anything, but appreciate you guys so much. I promise you this, it's not going to get wasted. I try my best not to spend money on frivolous things and whatnot. So thank you for giving it. Um, it's not about that, but thank you so much. Kelly, I am working. I'm sorry. I've worked on Nate's song and video this last week. I actually got it done. I'm finishing my song and video, Father Before Him. If you guys haven't got a chance to check it out, it's not out yet. I'm thinking the release date is going to be like January 10th or something. I'm finishing up the video for that right now. Um, and this is what I'm going to do, guys. When I drop that, I'm going to drop it like 3 weeks before it's actually released. I really would appreciate it if you guys could go in there and comment, leave a comment. I don't care if it's a smiley face. I don't care if it's a middle finger or if it's a hey, awesome, hey, this sucks. I don't even care what it is. I appreciate it. If I'm going to drop the video, the premiere, and you guys go in there, just leave comments. Um, it's not out yet. I've only put a couple of teasers out, a couple of shorts out, but the full song and video is going to be released around January 10th. I'm going to release a premiere for it so you guys can go in there and comment just to get the algorithm. Apparently, I've learned a lot of things in the past couple years. Apparently, um, comments on YouTube they help the algorithm out before the song is released. So I'm going to release the premiere within the next probably week or so. But I appreciate it. My wife is singing on the song. She's awesome, way better than me. But guys, thank you so much for popping in this Sunday. Love you guys. Um, you know, I really appreciate it. The money, man. I don't even know what to say about it. Buckeye had this idea to do this, and I'm so glad that he did. This is way more important than anything else that we could be, the music or anything. Talking to people, there's been people messaging him saying how they've been affected by this, and that's all anybody could ever dream of. If you guys want to hang out later, I'm going to be on React Attacks YouTube. They want to talk about music and have talk about more about music and stuff that's going on with me. Um, yeah, it's bigger than us, man. It's Daniel. You have a blessed day too, my friend. Um, yeah, come on in, Alan. Come on in, dude. I'm gonna talk more about music, I guess, musical journey and stuff. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, I have a reaction channel and all that. But it's more. I've actually the first 5 or 6 videos were actually music and stuff. I'm not the best by far, but I do love music. I do enjoy it, and I'll play all my own stuff. Anything, I've never bought a beat, and that's fine if people do. And there's uh, no shade there. I've never bought a beat. We typically make ours from the ground up, so I try to do quality stuff. I'm not the best. I'm not a songbird, but hey, my music is heartfelt. The next song that I have is called Father Before Him, and it's about my grandfather who I'm walking in the shoes of. Hopefully, I feel those shoes. And he started a logging business from the 1950s, and it's just me appreciating my family and what they've done. Starting with my grandpa. But guys, love you guys. Take care. Oh yeah, Kelly, I'm working on video father son reacts. I'm done with his music video. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go live and we're going to promote his song, my song. Kelly, I'm working on the next single after that my great uncle was a moonshiner, and I'm telling some stories about how he met Al Capone. It's really crazy. The next song, and I want Kelly Osborne to sing some backup on it because she has an awesome voice. She's incredible, way better singer than me. I always try to put people who have talent, way more talent than I do, on my music and stuff, guys. So Kelly is going to be hopefully on the next single. She's going to do some backups and stuff. Yo, main girl, we might do something sometime. She's messaged me, and there's so much stuff that I want to do that I'm trying to work toward. You guys, thank you so much for popping in, and really appreciate you guys. Misty, yeah, Kelly, can't wait till you guys hear Kelly. I'm gonna try and put her in the music video too, if her husband lets me. So, no, shout out to Joe, her husband. They're family friends. Um, we're gonna try to do this sometime soon, guys. I'm gonna try to put her on the song and Wine and Crystal. Yeah, that's an incredible Up Church song, man. And Kelly, the song is more of an acoustic song, so it's not much rapping in it, but it's like a story of my great uncle. He was a moonshiner and he met Al Capone. Really neat story. Love you guys. God bless you. Um, if you're in a bad place in your life, reach out, talk to me, message me, Facebook, Drew Rippey on Facebook. Leave a comment on here. I actually am somewhat of a counselor for mental health um, group homes. So I would love. I'm not the number one guy to talk to, but I can help or try to help or point you in a direction, um, possibly. So guys, reach out, love one another. Get ready for some music, and Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. God bless you guys.